Hello, welcome in for our next episode of Champions of the Fae. I'm really excited for tonight. We all seem to be a little punch slash trigger happy, so it's going to be interesting to see if we make it to the 30 minutes before combat, or if like we're all just hype and then we end up not actually doing combat at all. We'll see. It's going to be fun though. Before we jump into everything, I'm going to say a few words about our sponsors. First off, I want to mention the one of the supplements that we're using for D&D 5th edition, the Children and Champions of the Fae book. Excuse me. You can find that at the link that's there in chat. It's got some pretty cool stuff. I'm using the sprite ancestry for my character that's in there. It's worth checking out. Go take a look. And then our sponsors are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre, so you can actually use it to play any style of game that you would like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. You can find that on Amazon if you want the physical book, or if you prefer PDFs, you can grab one of those at ko-fi.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the top left corner and the bottom middle-ish area of the screen. And our other sponsor is Die Hard Dice. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. Also, there's just a ton of really awesome people that are in charge and work over there. So I recommend checking them out purely based on that. But I also use their dice almost exclusively in my dice bag. You can check that out at dieharddice.com. If you use the code FUNRPG, all caps, you get 10% off of your entire order. And I highly recommend, because it really fits the current game that we're playing, the fairy set. It looks like this. Hopefully the green screen filter isn't picking up too much of it. But they are sparkly and like a pastel rainbow on the inside with like this sort of green tint to the outside of it. They're very satisfying to roll. I highly recommend checking those out. There's a link straight to those in chat. And if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network, or over on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Blackfeather Guild and we'll be the first thing that pops up. I think that is everything, so I'm going to pass it on over to Andy to introduce everybody and take us in.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go do some character introductions. Let's review who everybody is. And let's start off with Zan. Who do you got for us? Who are you playing tonight?
All right. Well, tonight I am. Hi, I'm Zan. I do tabletop things with cool people in cool places. And I like to look into how tabletop games can be used in therapeutic settings. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's cool stuff. But tonight I am playing Skin, who is a Fey scale dragon, or dragonborn, I guess. A monk of the Ascendant Dragon School. Basically, 3 feet of skills and aggression. Always with his familiar at his side, who is far more dangerous than the little dragon himself. Yeah, now I guess that's me.
All right, wonderful. Next up, let's see, Amira. Let's see, the transient, Goo Honey. Who do you have for us? Who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Goo Honey / Transient. I'm the founder of Transient Entertainment, Goo Honey Comics, currently doing freelance illustration for character design and NSFW work. Tonight I'll be playing Amira Ash. She is a cursed dryad with a little bit of a rocky past of getting into things she probably shouldn't, and seems to be doing the same thing now. So I'm really interested to see how far I can take her dark path too. It'll be a good night.
As well. Let's see what happens. Next up, let's have Emily Timberdoodles. Who are you, and who do you have for us?
Yes, I'm Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist. You can see me post my stuff there sporadically. I am Reverie, a tiefling rogue who wanted absolutely nothing to do with any of this. Who is very, very charismatic and would like to have a little fun and tries to do good, but don't tell anybody I said that.
Excellent. Well, your secret's safe with me. Next up, let's see, Par. Well, who do you have for us? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey there. I'm Par, and I play Dram Loomis, a phantom rogue. I just sort of exist on the internet and float around from place to place. I don't got much going on right now. It's a bad start to a new year for me, but hopefully soon.
All right, excellent. And let's see, Anna, Archival Dustbun, who are you and what do you have
Yes.
for us?
Hey, I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. And I am playing Ruluela, who is a Selkie sorcerer of the Coldwater bloodline, both of which are from the Children and Champions. I can never remember which way it goes. Children and Champions of the Fae supplement that we're using. A lot of water, a lot of interesting combat techniques. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, excellent. And Raven, what about you? Tell us a
Yeah,
little about yourself and Jinx.
I am Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or adjacent. My link tree is there in chat. And I play Jinx. She is a sprite and a spell sniper warlock. She works for the Raven Queen. Her whole thing is getting the undead from mostly dead to all the way dead. That's kind of her job. Her personality is very opposite of what you might expect for someone that has that job. And she's pretty much just here to have a good time and try all the food in the world while she's sowing chaos.
Wonderful. Thanks you so much. All of you. You guys, I love your characters so much. And I am Martinez Streams. I'm Andrew Martinez, Andy Martinez. I'm a DM, I'm a teacher, I'm a variety streamer. Nope, I'll work on that. And been making this good realm for us, the world that we've been working on. Now, last time we got an introduction to the 6 realms of the Feywilds, and we've realized that all 6 of these realms have been shoved together. They've all been meshed somehow. And even King Oberyn of the Archfays and of the entire Feywild has summoned you, been confused in his crazy, erratic, slightly maybe inept own way, has tasked now you all with discovering the cause of all of this and what is going on here in the Feywilds. You gathered supplies up in the city of Mayaheya and investigated a nearby graveyard, collecting some bones and some other new friendships, obtained some weapon modifications and some other fun supplies, and then began your journey into the forest of Elassidir. And on your way there, traveling after a few hours into the woods, you came across a redcap attack. After stopping them from maybe eating or draining a hippogriff that you then saved, healed up, and obtained some feathers from after maybe sneaking in a few bites to eat when no one was looking, you decided to continue off your way, having made a new friend. And that is where we pick up right now. You are currently on the roads of Elassidir, continuing down the way. This is one main trail. You've been traveling for a few hours. You've just finished off these red caps, shoved a few of them in your pockets, and continued on your way. Anything you'd like to do while you're traveling? Now, you know where you're heading next, because as a member of this realm, Jinx, you specifically would know, and anybody who is familiar with this realm of Elassidir knows that all the way up this road is the crossroads. And at the crossroads, that is where one of the main dryads of the forest lives, Hunera. And Hunera herself, she is rather, the major hub of the middle of the forest. And you know that is still a few hours off, but it is still within the next couple of hours of travel.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
And that's someone who it was mentioned that they would potentially be able to help us with our
Yes.
quandary, right?
Yes. So go ahead, just for Jinx, make a history check to see what you already know about the ancient grove of the dryads of the forest. Now do this with advantage, actually.
Oh, good, because I have a 2 in history.
Oh, boy.
It was not her strongest subject. Oh, that's much better. 21, yeah.
Oh, good. 21. Yeah, with that, you actually are very familiar with a few of the major dryads of the forest. You know that there are, in the realm of Elassidir, there's a lot of dryads, but specifically there are 4 that are referred to as the Ancient Grove. And within the Ancient Grove, you already have heard about Evora, who is also known to be the brain of the forest. And she is very helpful, very intelligent, calls out to those who are kind of looking for answers when they need it. But right now, again, you know that she is missing. You actually live right next to Sylvia, the soul of the forest, who really is nurturing and kind and takes care of the realm itself, as well as anybody near her. You are heading towards Hunera, who is known as the heart of the forest, who is always welcoming, caring, strong, very nurturing of a kind of person, or a dryad, and always willing to give, really, whatever she can. And then there is Geneva, who is living, up by the Tooth Fairies, who is known as the wit of the forest. Now, you haven't talked to her really, but the other three, well, maybe not Evora so much, but Hunera and Sylvia, you're actually fairly familiar with.
Okay. I think Jinx will kind of explain some of that information to the party. Sort of all right, so like, up here on the right, we're gonna have this person and they do this stuff, sort of like a tour guide like that. Which one lives close to where Jinx is from?
That is Sylvia.
Sylvia.
And Sylvia is a massive Thule tree, and that is actually where your city, or where Jinx's town, makes their home, in the massive canopy of that huge tree.
Okay. So I think Jinx will like briefly mention that one, and Sylvia is there in her town. She's like, or we could go check out and see what happened to the other ones. First, that's like more the scenic route, but might be fun to go explore those first and see what they have to say.
I mean, I think if you think that those would be helpful for what we're doing, I think we definitely could. But I have a question.
Yes.
How big are pixie houses? I was asking Jinx.
So,
How big are pixie houses?
We vary a bit in height, but like I'm about 6 of your inches, so the ceiling's like maybe a good 9 inches tall or so. I mean, unless you have a lot of money, and then it's like 12 inches tall. That's like the cathedral ceilings.
Like crab houses. Okay. So we can't fit inside at all. So we'll just have to kind of stand outside and look in, like big eye in the window, creepy.
Yeah, we have like public gathering places, and like, well, there's always the market, because that's set up for other races to come in, and because obviously that wouldn't really work in our houses because they're all massive. So we could do that there. That would work. Oh, I should learn a spell to shrink and enlarge people. That would be useful.
That could be
That
useful.
sounds like a terrible idea. I do believe we should go to the market, though.
And Jinx quickly gets lost on that trail of thought. She's like, oh, I could be like a giant. I could be like 2 feet tall.
No.
And she's just completely gone for a few moments there. I'm sorry, I got lost on a tangent. So what's the plan? What are we thinking?
I think we're following you, right? I look at the rest of the party.
So you're on a main road, and there's kind of the direction. So I'm assuming we're walking and talking as we're doing this. You're making your way currently to Hunera's Earth. Yes, there's only really one way we're going. So anything else you want to do on the way? It's still it's a little bit of a walk.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jinx is really going back and forth on I really don't want to go back home, but also like that's probably the best place to start. So she probably kind of goes back and forth for a little bit. It's like, yeah, no, we should probably go there first, and we'll lead the way to her home.
Right. So it takes you about an hour of walking, maybe an hour and a half. Time is weird here. Maybe longer, maybe shorter. Still within the same whole day, though, that you started this crazy mission. And walking and talking and in silence, you finally make your way towards the crossroads, where, Jinx, you would know you have to travel through to get to your city and every other city within the realm of Alaska here. As you approach the crossroads, you see a roundabout. The road kind of turns, and then it looks like this is an area that there can be a lot of traffic, a lot of movement, a lot of carts. And right now there are a few of them that are kind of traveling through, but you're a little still far away. If you want to make a perception check to kind of see, but they look like they're actively traveling much faster than you are. What you can see in the middle, yeah, go for it.
Just 14.
Okay. You can see that there's a patrol of Tooth Fairy soldiers, not soldiers, Tooth Fairy, what are they actually called? Forest guards. And you've actually noticed that over the past day or so that you've been out, especially back in the city, you saw a few of them there as well. So there's 2 patrols of Tooth Fairy Forest guards that are kind of moving past, and then one went south and one went north.
Okay.
As you approach this tree. And in the middle of this crossroad, in the middle of this roundabout is a massive plum tree, it looks like. And as you approach, you can tell the branches, the canopy of this tree is huge. It reaches all the way to the edge of the crossroads itself. The trunk itself looks about 5 feet in diameter, and it goes up about 6-7 feet or so before it just completely branches out in a very, very flat, bushy top. And as you approach, you can see that there's so many plums, so many bright purple, kind of elongated plums that are just ripe for the picking.
Awesome.
And you know that this is Hunera's Hearth. The plums, you already know, are delicious.
I think Jinx will hop up onto like Ruli's shoulder. Whatever shoulder is facing away from the Tooth Fairy guards.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of doing like the hand up by the face thing, like trying not to be recognized. And just hastily whispers, "Oh, I think I recognize that guard. You don't know me. I'm not here. Let's just walk quickly. I may have accidentally set fire to his house on accident."
Okay, yeah, let's get you out of here then.
As you walk by, they kind of eye you, the whole group of you. And are you actually stealthing, or are you just kind of not?
You know what? I have invisibility as like an at-will thing, so I'm just, gonna go
Perfect.
invisible.
Excellent. So he does not see you specifically. They do mark that all of you are here. They don't engage you specifically, but they at least have clocked that you are around as you all approach the tree. And you know, Jinx, you've been here a few times at least. This is Hunera's Hearth. It is the tree itself. And there's a lot of little trails that go from the crossroads that meet up at the trunk itself. And all you need to do is touch it to enter.
Jinx will relay that to everyone, and also mention, so those plums are really good. There's a lot of them, so if you're hungry, actually, if somebody could grab me like a quarter of one, that'll I'll just eat on that all day.
Amira will reach up and slice a quarter of one off with her orky thumb of her right hand and toss it over to Jinx.
And Jinx just has her arms out with her hands like the gimme hands, very excitedly. Oh yes. And we'll start snacking on it, and then with a full mouth go, yeah, you just gotta like touch the tree, and then we can go in.
I'll touch the tree.
Well, everyone
And as
else
soon as you do, the bark is so warm and you feel warmth, and you are gone.
Well, everyone
Feels
else
like home.
While everyone else is touching the tree, really leans in and sniffs one of the plums and kind of scrunches her nose up at it, and then follows everyone else into the tree.
All right. And one by one, unless anybody's doing something else, as you put your hand on the tree, the dark bark feels not hot to the touch. It doesn't burn, but it's a very, very comforting sensation as you all one by one vanish from this realm and appear inside of Hunera's hearth. As you look around, it's kind of disorienting, but not uncomfortable, especially if you've never been here before. And around you, you can see that you are clearly still inside of a tree, but the room that you are in just got so much bigger. Now, this is a 60-foot circular room. There's different tables and booths that are standing around. There's a large circular fire in the center of this room that just is going up into, as you look up, there's a second room or a second floor that also has some tables and chairs that are set up. And looking up, there's just the canopy. As you can see, the branches go up, and it is the night sky right now. There is dark blues and purples, iridescent stars, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, just illuminating this entire place. As you look around, you, Jinx, see Hunera herself, looking very similar to her tree, wrapped in a very purple shawl with a golden trim, walking around, holding different plates of food. As she looks up at all the six of you and warmly smiles. She doesn't say anything, but she continues. She does acknowledge your presence in her hearth. What would you like to do?
I bow my head respectfully to her, and I kind of look around to see if there's a market where I can buy some things while we're here.
Okay.
Specifically, slim-fitting leather armor. Has to be very, very, very slim-fitting leather armor.
Okay. Looking around, you don't. You know, this isn't necessarily a place. There might be a person in the area that is selling something, but this is more of a pub and a bar and a place to stay. It's not so much a place to buy armor and weapons. Now, there are things available if you would like to buy like specific types of treats or tarts or things for later. Hunera does sell to-go boxes, and those foods can have specific properties to them. But as far as like physical armors and things like that, they don't exist right here, unfortunately.
Okay. Then I will approach the other dryad. I don't want to mispronounce her name, so.
Hunera.
Hunera. I'll approach
Yes.
Hunera then.
As you do, she gives you a once-over and just smiles and welcome. It's great to see another one of us here. And she offers you a little tart.
Thank you. I guess I'll eat it, even though we don't really eat. I will consume the tart to be respectful. And as I'm eating, I'll say, we were kind of sent here by Overon, or we detoured here. And I'll glance back at Jinx. But we're trying to figure out what's going on. Do you have a suggestion of who we might speak to if you do not know in your great wisdom?
Well, as far as what's going on, I know that there's been quite a ruckus, and I know that I'm assuming you're. She kind of gestures up. Well, between you and me, I feel that Evora is floating further and further away, and I can feel her less. But if you need anything from me, as far as nourishment, we can do that. I don't know why. And she answers your question kind of with confusion herself. But as for help, there's a lot of people here, and she gestures around, and you can see that there's people in this area as well. There are tables that are populated that kind of are on the upper floor, some with smaller characters, but some with other folks. You can see that there's one table that does sit a few Tooth Fairy guards. There's one table that sits two kind of beetle-looking things. There's one table that you can see that looks like there's people that are kind of morphing and laughing at their own conversation, as well as two centaurs that are kind of sitting up at the top floor. As you kind of standing where she is at the staircase, you know you can get a better look at everybody right here. This seems to be kind of where she resides. But yeah, feel free. But I've just been here hearing what everyone else has to say.
Do you know what those centaurs up there happen to be drinking?
Well, last I heard, they were drinking 2 of my fine ales, and very much enjoying it. They've never actually been over here. Can you believe? To Elassidir. This is their first time in the forest. I'm glad they get to stay here.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I appreciate your help. I think I'll go speak to them. They may have more information about where we were going before we came here.
Wonderful. Well, let me know if you or your friends need anything else. I'll be around. I'll come to your table in a little bit if you'd like. Here, find a seat anywhere, really. And she kind of just gestures around. Are the rest of you finding a table, or are you just kind of standing in the entryway? Or by the fire?
No. There's the table and there's the fire, but we're missing the important spot, which is where the drinks are.
Of course.
So Baskin is headed straight over to the bar and is going to stand on whatever he needs to stand on to get a pint of whatever is good.
Okay. As you approach the bar, there are part of the side of the inside of the trunk that looks like it's kind of just covered in vines, as the vines peel themselves off the wall and become the bartender itself. As these twin blight looks down at you without a face, but you know that it is acknowledging your presence.
This is very weird. Okay, Hero, Mr. Twig, can I maybe get alcohol? One alcohol, please.
It kind of just creaks its neck at you and then twists down and grabs something and pours some liquid from the wall itself right beside it, and then just creaks over and hands it to you silently.
I really do not know how to put this any better to you, but I do not know what will come out of my mouth when I breathe, and you are much more frightening than that. I sleep next to something that wants to rip out my throat every night, but you are the most unsettling thing I have seen today. I just really need you to know how much I appreciate your dedication to your craft. It is absolutely wonderful.
Facelessly, it just starts nodding at you.
And Baskin will just turn away and go, that was really, really fucking weird, man.
Did you make a new friend?
Oh yeah, that guy is really that blight is really really something. I think I'm probably going to have nightmares for a little while.
Cheeks looks over, goes, "Oh, Basil, yeah, they're very nice. They kind of grow on you."
As you all look over, it just
I see what you mean, Baskin.
and then just puts itself back on the wall.
Well, there is another 2 nights of nightmares. This is great.
That is kind of creepy. That's how some predators hunt. Do you think? No, it seems too nice to be a predator.
Where do you think he will pour the beer from, if not from the pitcher plant? Hmm?
That's a good point. I wonder if they have any actual food here, or if it's all just fruit.
There is what food goes up to be. There is alcohol.
I suppose everything must strive to achieve something. I didn't look at it that way, Baskin.
What's the plan? Are we stopping here? Do we need to talk to people? Are we moving on?
There are centaurs seated, I believe, on the 2nd floor. They may be able to give us more information about the island we're going to, since it has been moving into their lands quite quickly. And they are only recently arrived here themselves.
That seems like a good plan.
Yeah, you're really smart, Amira.
I've had a long time to think about things, unfortunately.
That sounds really boring, but I'm glad that it is being useful here.
She'll just hold up her hand like I'm a tree.
Jinx currently looks torn between the food table and the bar and going to talk to the centaurs. And it's like, yeah, talking to people that are not from here sounds like a great idea. Tell you what, I'm gonna go to the food table, then the bar, then the centaurs. That seems like the logical order of things.
I could help you talk to people, Mira. And people usually like me, or they talk to me at least, and I can usually keep a conversation going. So if you want some help, I could help you with that.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Anybody else going with you too? Or Jinx is setting up the food table. Baskin is drinking. Revelry. Dram.
Yeah,
what are you two up to?
They're heading to talk to the centaurs, right? Well, Reverie is curious as to how amenable the centaurs would be to being spoken to in the first place. Is it obvious what kind of mood they're in, or should I like roll perception?
Yeah,
or
go ahead and
something?
roll a
'Cause,
perception
you-
or an
you
insight
said-
check as you kind of try and get a glance over to them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll perception. 24.
Okay. So even at this kind of an angle, you can see that there are two of them. There's one really, really big, burly centaur, and that looks like it's kind of covered in really heavy plate mail. And there's another one that is sitting next to it. You can tell that there's a bow hanging off the side of it. There's a couple of moon-shaped objects that are sitting off of that one. They look to be in conversation. They're in the middle of drinking their drinks. Now with the 21, you can actually tell that there is a bag sitting next to the big burly one, kind of just on the floor, that is tied up at the front, and you can tell that it is wet.
Oh, I got a 24.
With the 24, it is
Yeah.
wet and red.
Oh, goody. And it was Ruli and Amira heading to speak to them, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But you see this as they start to head away from you. if
Yeah,
you wanna do
Reverie kind of stops, and whoever is closest, Ruli or Amira, taps him on the shoulder. So I don't know if you noticed, our hoofed friends over there. One of them has a bag, and perhaps has something that was very recently alive in it.
Oh, really?
Ooh, I bet they have fun stories.
How big is the bag? Like a whole body or just like part of?
Question: how big is the bag? You said it was pretty good size, right?
Yeah, the bag is about this big. It's not a whole sphere necessarily. It's not completely round, but it's about, heavy sack shape.
Would you say it's roughly humanoid head sized?
I would say it's roughly humanoid head sized. There's part of it that kind of maybe pokes out maybe a little bit, but yeah.
Was there any kind of telling, what kind of mood the conversation was in? Like, did they seem really serious, or?
They seemed not mad necessarily, but they were definitely in discussion. They looked like they were working on something.
Okay. I would suggest we approach perhaps a little delicately. Not avoid, but approach delicately.
Lead the way.
All right. As the three of you head over there, Dram, what about you? What are you up to?
It's been a few days now. Dram probably hasn't eaten much, so he'll also head to the food table now that his mood is slightly lifted. His body's
Wonderful.
probably screaming at the point like, feed me, Dram.
I'm sure it is. As you and Jinx and Baskin probably. The food table. Baskin? Yeah. Yes, you.
Baskin is actually going to he's going to take this opportunity to try to get a little bit of information. He is going to just kind of butterfly from table to table, maybe not so subtly, trying to figure out where the part of town that would sell creepy shit is. If there is any like occulty shops or like apothecaries, things that you might expect to find an errant eyeball hanging out in, you know?
All right. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for the general, just asking that question around at people. As
we'll
Jinx and Dram, you guys find a lot of food. And there's meats, there's vegetables, there's fruits, there's tarts, there's baked goods, there's really anything that you can kind of want here. It looks like Hunera has taken care of anybody who walked in here. Whatever food you were thinking of, that's what's on the table. All right. Baskin. Yeah. Yeah.
Was the beer good at least?
The beer was really good.
You know what? It's fine. It wasn't a day lost. I got to network a little bit, and I do loudly mention a few times, like, well, you know, I am over here on the diplomatic business of a hib, but that is fine. I'm just going to be over here drinking alone, since no one is really sure where we are supposed to be finding the creepy shit. Okay.
Now, as you start to go around at these different tables, some tables do not like you. Some tables specifically are kind of like, oh my god, that thing is gonna eat me. Specifically, the table that has 2 beetle people at it, and the table that has 4 little mushroom people at it. As you specifically walk up to them, they very much tense up. Both tables kind of have the same kind of reaction to you, but they still don't specifically answer your question. The food table is lit. The food table's lit. What kind of food are we picking up?
Good, sorry.
So is whatever we imagine is on the table?
So whatever, yeah. So pretty much Hunera doesn't know what you're imagining necessarily, but she knows what you need. So as soon as you enter the hearth, that sustenance, whatever you were really craving in your heart of your stomach, really is going to be there. So whether it's a very hearty stew, whatever's going to nourish Dram the most is right there in front of it.
Oh, so Dram probably has a large piece of steak and like the 2 driest looking pieces of bread. Doesn't add any condiments, just slaps it together and just eats it. It looks like it's your mouth just goes dry watching him eat this, and just no issue.
All right.
This is definitely the meal you throw together in like 5 minutes before you leave the house.
I will say, if the food table is what we were all craving when we walked in, if you look a couple plates over from your steak, there's a bunch of live fish bouncing around on a plate.
There absolutely is, yeah.
I think Jinx has walked over there and has a plate just piled high with various tiny little fruit cakes and coffee-based desserts. Lots of sugar and caffeine, basically. And just has like this plate that she can barely hold with one hand, that she's holding with one hand, as she makes her way over to the bar to get a drink as well.
All right. So as you all get your food and get your drinks, and you are met with the same twig blight to serve you, the other 3 of you go up the stairs. Revelry, Ruli, and Amira. As you approach these 2 centaurs who have noticed that you are approaching them, as their conversation shushes a little bit, and they both kind of cautiously look over. You see that the bigger one, puts its shield off to the side and doesn't say anything, as the other one turns to you, and you can see that this one now, as you're getting a little bit closer, has this kind of flash of red throughout their hair as they turn to you, and a big crescent moon dangles off their neck. you can see at the one that's covered in armor, a big crescent scythe-like weapon, or not a scythe-like weapon, but like a crescent sword sits on their waist. As they turn to you, and the smaller one talks first. Hey, what can we do for you?
Don't mind us. I like your hair, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks. The name's Carlisle. This is Jensen. You can call them Jen. Hey, who are you?
I'm Amira. This is Ruli and Reverie. That's totally y'all's names, right? She'll kind of whisper this in a side.
Kind of lean around from behind Reverie. Hi, I'm Really. What's in the bag?
Oh, well, between you and me, it's a werewolf head. Yeah, it's a werewolf head, actually.
Oh,
We could say that, right? And Jen
Reverie kind of perks
Jen
up
just
at
nods.
that, like seems genuinely interested. Like, ooh, that's like
Can we see it?
he kind of wants to know the story behind that.
Well, if you're curious, I think we can, right? Are you cool? Where are you from? Who are you guys? Honestly, tell us everything.
Oh, I'm just a tree. Just a tree.
I don't know if that's everything.
I'll let Ruli go first and kind of step back, let her move forward. Very aware of the things I have in my bag.
Me, I'm just a seal. I'm Sylvanthe.
No way.
Wait, that answer works for her?
Wait, you're a seal?
Yeah, well, Selkie, but it's the same thing. I can sometimes look like this.
Oh, shape changer? Let me ask you this. Do you do the weird thing like do you do like a Hathaway thing? Can you bite somebody and then like turn in they get like infected? Do I have to worry about you?
No. It's just we're seals, but we can peel our skin off and become like humanoid.
All right. Okay.
I mean, you could be, if you're adopted by the Rookery, you can be given a skin. Sometimes abandoned children are, because we bring them in and give them homes. But I mean, it's not like an infection thing. It's just you voluntarily take a skin from the elders.
She should have told us these things before we started partying up with her.
All right. Okay. This is that was good. Hey, see? That was everything. That was a lot of stuff. Now, tree? How'd you be a tree?
I'm from Gefelden. I just kind of grew there, and
As you mentioned the Gefelden, his eyes light up. Okay, now I'm interested. How's that? Tell me everything.
I'll kind of hold up my arm so you can see one of the spores. It's not as awesome as I thought it was going to be. It's very bright though. That's always nice.
All right. Okay. All right. Is it true they say that there's no like ground?
It depends what you think of as ground. I mean, you can walk on it if you're light enough, but you don't look like you're.
Yeah, as you say that, he looks over at Jen and, have you ever seen any of us over there?
No.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna make it to that one. And Jen just kind of shrugs. Well, grunts. Well, maybe if we can make it work. You! And Reverie points right at you.
Oh, also from Sylvanthe, and while Ruli was explaining the whole Selkie thing, he was kind of looking at Amira like he was surprised that they were surprised at some of the Selkie information. Because yes, Sylvanthe spent a fair amount of time, sailing, doing merchant work, that kind of thing.
Right, all right.
Sometimes it gets a little more exciting than you'd like. What with the goblinoids?
I've heard about them. We don't see very many goblins. But, oh, do you remember we saw them the other day when we were walking? And then Jen just starts nodding very, very rapidly. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah, so that's a werewolf head. And he said, as he says that, his voice adjusts a little bit. There's actually, well, that was one of them. There's another one out there though too. Here, there's actually, so you guys know, like, the realms have been like, and everything's been kind of fucking crazy over the past, like, I don't know how long, the past days. Oh, it's been so stressful. You guys know that, right? Like, this isn't new. Okay, good. As you start, like, yeah, of course we do. Okay, so we are hunters. We've successfully got that one because, well, we were really good at keeping out all the weird things, all the shape changers from our realm, and we were, oh man, it's the best. We were so good. And then now, God, there's so many of them. Umbervale.
What?
What? Huh?
Why are you hunting? Is it just because they're there?
Well, they are evil, aren't they? Yeah, they're abominations.
I shift my bag behind me a little bit more. I mean, it seems like those things are matters of opinion, and most of the time, and you did just cut off his head and kind of set it on a table in the middle of a tavern. So maybe Reverie thinks that's evil, right, Reverie?
Yeah.
I
Do
wouldn't
you?
personally know. I've never met a werewolf. Out of curiosity, though, if it's not imposing, the werewolf hunting, does that have to do with any kind of gestures to the crescent moon symbol?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm a Moon Ranger warden. So that's like one of the things that we, in my tribe, in my herd, that's like one of the important things. So I follow Clive, and he's so cool. He's so cool. And as they mentioned him, Jen starts nodding also. Anyway, so he's so good. And so we've been following him, and he's really protecting a lot of us. And as somebody who has met werewolves, man, most of them suck, I'll be honest. Especially because a lot of, hey, by the way, it's not just like, oh, you bite and then like, oh, no, I was a good person and now, oh, no, I'm bad. No, that's not it. A lot of the werewolves and stuff that we have to deal with are like actually evil things that also are werewolves. Like this guy right here, and he gestures at the back. Now, what he looks like now, gross. But better than alive, right? And Jen kind of laughs.
Well, I have another. I'm sorry to question you on your work, but I'm somewhat of an inspector of sorts, and doesn't the head turn back to a normal head afterwards? Is that still? Well, how do you prove your work?
It does. Yes, but we know, right?
Oh,
We know.
okay.
So
Just the people killing the werewolves know that they were werewolves.
do we have to? We don't have to justify this, do we? No. Okay, great. Is that everything? Or, by the way, hey, there's another one out there, and you should probably be like aware of that one. This is a
I don't
small
have a
one.
problem with werewolves. I'm a tree. What are they gonna do?
It's gonna have a
Scratch me?
problem with you. It's not like a good. It's not a good thing.
Look, all
it's
I'm saying is
still-
you're attacking people of the forest. You know what? We're not here for this.
It's still good to know just what is out there, just so we're aware. You know.
Aware of the werewolves.
Yes. You know, whether hostile or not, it's good to be aware of what's out there. We were curious, however, if you knew anything about the giant mass of land floating over your lands, or towards your lands, I should say.
As you mentioned the islands, they both kind of look down, and also get sad. It looks like a little bit as Carlisle perks back up. So there's a lot of those, aren't there? Ours is also flying away. So is yours? Which one? It's been a mess. I know that there are some of us that are actually mapping them out and kind of track them, but they took the other half of our tribe is the stars. They watch the stars and we watch the moon, and they took our divination station. They took our place that talks to them. So if yours is coming to us and ours is going somewhere else, that's above my pay grade. I do this. And he gestures again at the bag.
Would you be willing to help us do that on the way to the floating island in your lands?
Well, I mean, we're kind of on this mission, but we're also going to be heading out pretty soon to finish this hunt. So this thing's out there. We're going to go get it, like in a little bit.
Raskin! Hold on. There's someone who may. Hold on. Baskin!
Yeah, what? Who is screaming for Baskin?
Up
Up
here.
here, come here.
Come here.
Ah,
Things to punch. Potentially punch. You can punch
Oh.
werewolves, right?
I can punch whatever the fuck I want.
Well, come tell these guys, not to me. I already saw.
Okay, well then Baskin will join them, trying his best to look very intimidating at a full 3'1".
Okay.
Are
see
you
this
actually
guy?
trying to intimidate them?
No, just looking tough.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be threatening. I'm just, posturing.
Respect. Amira, what was that?
This guy here, he can totally help with the werewolf problem. So if he helps y'all, you help us. And maybe that, or you could help us find Clive.
Yeah. That actually sounds good. Because honestly, this thing that we're going to go get is a bit of a doozy, huh? And Jen just slowly starts to nod.
I like you, Jen. You don't talk too much or anything. You don't try and, justify your werewolf huntings. You're a good guy.
And they just,
What do you think, Baskin?
Honestly, I'm really on board with this. I'm very excited and very gung ho for this kind of violence, but I really have no idea what the fuck is going on. Who am I punching? Why are we?
Oh,
Is this going
right.
to take us to the island? What this seems like a detour.
These guys are werewolf murderers and they will help us if we help them to murder said werewolves. They will help us find the island that's in their lands, or at least help us in some way.
Am I going to buy us dinner? Because I do not really think that is an appropriate help. I would kind of like a little bit more of an idea of what help is, really.
I'll just look at the centaurs. What can you offer us?
well, we know that we're heading to the east. We're going, which way are you guys going? Do you know yet? We're going that way. And he kind of just points outside of the tree. But actually, let me see something. And he digs into his pocket and he pulls out a little rock and rubs it and whispers something into it and kind of just talks into his palm.
Oh yeah, this seems totally legit. We may have made a mistake, guys. We may have made a mistake here.
If you want to try and see what he's saying, you can each roll a perception check, the four of you who are over there. But he is trying to be stealthy about this.
16.
Natural 20 for 24.
Oof.
I still got a cool 21.
Wow,
I
you
just
guys are so good.
Got a 15, so
You
I,
got a 3, so
I think while that's
I-
happening, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I really want to eavesdrop. That's what that roll is from.
I think while that's happening, Jinx might finally show up, having used invisibility again. So she just like sits down with this giant plate of desserts, and maybe like 2 thimbles worth of wine, like in one hand. Just suddenly appears at the table. I was like, oh, "Hey, what'd I miss?"
as you do that, Jen just looks down and goes, huh? And just puts their head really close to you and waves.
Jinx just sort of like leans forward and squints while he's like moving his face forward too, and then waves.
It's okay, Jen. She is a friend of ours.
He just leans back.
See, I told you I like this one.
Yeah, as now the five of you listen in on exactly this, because wow, he did not roll very well. As you can hear him say, "Oh, hey, by the way, we found some people who are also looking for the island. Any location on those?" And he puts it up to his ear. He says, "I don't know why I'm doing that. I can hear it." Because you guys don't get to hear the response. That is what he said, though.
Really, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this. I can't handle this. It's talking to rocks now, and I don't even talk to rocks.
I mean, it's not that weird to talk to a rock.
I'll
As
just
a minute later,
step back.
yeah, as a minute goes by, he just kind of looks up. Okay. So, it looks like one of them that we've been tracking. We're not the only centaurs that are here. And Elasity are actually, there's actually another set of us. Remember I said that our tribe has two. This is us, and they're doing something else over there with the stars and the islands. So they're going off. They've been tracking those after the past couple of days. They think it's going to go the same kind of direction we are, actually, towards the, what was it, the Sprite City? Yeah, I think they're going towards Iris. Yeah. So we're heading that way. And I think you are now too.
Well, that's lucky for us. I mean, his rocks seem trustworthy. We should. I mean, what do you all think?
I've put my trust in worse things than a rock, I suppose.
Okay, this seems perfectly fine. It is just a little bit of a sending thing. That is perfectly reasonable. But I do have one more thing, because this is all very good, but it does nothing for basking. And what I need is the next time that someone asks you for your input on the name of one who will join you soon, you must include the name, the sound pal in the name somewhere, in your suggestion. That has to be in the name. I will ask that as well for payment.
Wait, what am I naming?
You do not have to name anything. The next time someone says, look, here's my little kid, it is so very cute, what should I name this little thing? The name has to include the sound pal.
I don't think we can ask for people's children, Basky.
We're not asking for their children. I'm just saying that he has to give it as a suggestion for a name.
Oh, yeah.
They don't. They cannot do it. That is completely within their ability to not call their kid that. This seems very reasonable.
Sure. Yeah. Why not? I'll suggest it. Right. That's it.
You just have to make it sound like a cool name.
All
Don't
right.
just be like, their name is Pal. It has to be like Apollo Tremor or something like that.
And you're sure. You know what? Sure.
Reverie looks at the centaur and says, "Yeah, suggest it," and kind of subtly winks at him, like.
As he returns the wink to you too. Yeah. No, I'll do it. I think. I guess it depends on what they're asking for. Yeah, that sounds good. Great.
And sorry, what was I was not paying attention when everyone started talking again.
Is this all of you?
This is Jin. Who is who?
Oh, I'm Carlisle. Hey.
Carlisle.
We're from Ninfandor. Just right over there. It actually took us a few days to travel through the forest. Did you know there's not actually a road until we get to like a place? It's just like woods out there, which, by the way, sucks. And Jin nods.
I mean,
Okay, well, for these, and he holds up, he gestures down at Hooves.
that sounds like a personal problem. You can't take it out on the woods itself. I mean,
Okay,
you didn't have to come in here.
all right.
You didn't have to murder. Really. And she'll step back again.
I think that at that point Jinx leans in and is like, I have no idea what we're talking about. Whose children are we murdering and why are we murdering children?
I'm kind of confused too. Amira, do we need to find you a rock? We can find you a very trustworthy looking rock. You could talk to it too. It seemed to be helpful.
I had a
I
pet
don't-
rock once.
I'm
Where
not
is the
surprised
guy?
by that.
Is the other guy still eating? Where is he? Drum! Drum!
Ruli starts shouting as well. Just out into the room.
Drum!
I'm just sitting in the middle of the room, eating a soup very calmly, and just has to slowly look up.
We are all
Yes?
agreeing to do a thing. You have to come up here and agree to do the thing that we are agreeing to do.
Be right up.
Consent is very important in this party. We have to make sure everyone agrees, you know.
Awkwardly makes his way across the bar and upstairs.
Right.
So, what are we talking about?
So is this now? Is this everybody? Are we ready? I think.
Yes, this is everybody.
Wow, there's a
So-
lot more of you than I was thinking. This is going to be.
They're centaurs, and his rock told him there's a werewolf nearby in the same direction that the islands are, and if we help them with the werewolf, they'll help us find the islands.
We're going to find a wolf. Can I keep it?
I don't think it's. It may, and he kind of glances towards Amira. It may
Mm.
not be the kind of wolf you want to keep. Maybe, just maybe.
This is not the
But
kind
it
of
might
wolf that
have
you
a
want to
very-
keep.
It might have a very friendly personality, and you never know, Jinx. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay. All right.
But you know,
Baskin will
just could be ready.
Baskin's gonna look over and go, we are being paid to kill this thing, right?
I think you're going to earn any money from this, but
Well, paid with your help. It's
Yeah.
the same
we're
thing.
going to go. Yeah, and you're going to help us fight this thing.
Okay.
By the way, I should probably tell you that this is not like a normal. It's bigger than this one, and he gestures down at the bag.
I mean, that's a very small one.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, I mean-
that's honestly, that is embarrassing to even call a werewolf. That's like a were-coyote, maybe, at best.
Well, it stood about 8 feet. Anyway, it was about. This one's
How
way
tall are you?
bigger. The centaurs are currently sitting down. You could tell that they're, I don't know, about 6, 7 feet tall.
8 feet does not seem too intimidating for you, Carlisle. Especially not our friend Jen here.
Well, no, that's why it's dead. But this one got away. They split up, and this one stayed to fight us, and the other one took off. And we've been on the trail for about a day or so now. We stopped in here, and then we're on our way out pretty soon. So that's our plan. If you're coming with us, we're leaving in a bit. Yeah, when we finish these, and they look down and are almost done.
Yeah, I need to
Great,
get some fish.
this is
first.
wonderful. Oh,
Was there anything else we needed here first? Jinx, were you wanting to visit your family while we're here? I know how
No,
much you were
no,
talking
no.
about loving them.
Oh no, I can catch them next time. That's totally fine. We don't need to stay for my family.
Well, you're actually not near your city yet. In fact, the way that they are going is the way to your city. So,
Oh, great.
Okay.
That's
Yep.
just great.
so that is same direction.
Yeah, so they're not here. They're there, and we can just, if we leave now, we'll probably pass through there at night, so we can just keep going. We don't even need to stop in.
And Reverie kind of leans over and says, "Yes, but imagine telling them that you fought a werewolf."
Yeah, I don't think that would go over too well. Really, they're not the fighting types so much.
Or they
Really?
just believe in werewolf rights.
They're more that like plant trees and plants and water them and you know, that sort of thing.
Well, this is
Oh,
all the more reason that
delightful.
we should protecting them. Because you know it's heading that way, right?
Yes, we should protect them from afar.
But if we go there first, then we can make this valiant stand in front of your hometown.
Oh no, I do not know about that. Stands are completely overrated. You should come up behind them and just kick them in the back of the head.
I mean, yeah, or I mean, really
yes,
don't
but
even.
with stabbing.
I can just
Sorry.
zap them from way far away. That's way safer.
Okay, well,
But
when
also
we
from
actually-
behind.
When we actually meet, like the battle plan is just we're gonna go in and do our thing, and you can help out from like it'll be focused on us though, almost certainly. And Jen just nods.
Is there like a pewter or metal like cup or something like that at the bar, which I assume is now a decent ways away?
Yeah, it's downstairs, but yeah, there is absolutely.
I think Jinx might just do a little wow, my brain just went completely blank. Demonstration, that's the word I was looking for. It's been a long day. A little demonstration of her abilities and just like do a quick Eldritch Blast at the cup just to like knock it over.
All right, go ahead and roll an attack.
17.
All right, as you blast your Eldritch Blast and it blasts this cup right off the counter, and it makes quite a noise as it clatters to the ground. As the table of the Tooth Fairy guards look up immediately, and all three of them just jump to their feet and look up towards your direction and says, "What was that? Which one of you did that?"
Jinx is holding her finger on the tip of her nose.
I'm
Well,
just
I
gonna
mean-
look over here at the wall.
Rudy, you said you needed to go buy fish, right? I want to go buy some of the things with the crunchy shell. So yeah, I will. I think you are all right. This is a good time to go.
Yes, yeah, but
Is that
but
revelry?
Are we?
Oh,
I think it might be.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some rations and
Wait.
leave quickly.
Do you need a distraction?
Guys, get up! As you can see them all start to stand.
Um,
Slowly start to go in your kind of general direction towards the stairs.
I have a thing. What's the range on this? That's 30. What's the range on this? 10 feet. I have minor illusion as a cantrip. So I might have like I might just make like an image of Reverie like 30 feet away from where we are. Just pop it over there as a
Okay, still
distraction.
upstairs or downstairs?
Downstairs if I'm not more than 30 feet high.
Yeah, you're not. It's just like a 15, 20-foot staircase.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna do that so that it looks like Reverie is downstairs away from us as we leave.
All right.
as I see the illusion form,
Um,
I'll say, "Come on, Bruce, let's go this way," and kind of move referee.
Whenever he quietly thanks the centaurs and yeah, we'll see you in the road up, or I guess the not road up ahead.
As you say this, Carlisle looks, okay, should we? Then they both just down a drink. It looks like you're in a bit of trouble here, though. Do you want to deal with that, or what are we feeling? You guys
Are you
can
all
go.
about
You
the
guys
law
can
now?
go. We're gonna stay here for a little bit. This seems like your thing. And then they just sit back down.
Jen, really? Don't, you're just gonna abandon us? I thought we had something.
Do you want them to come with you? You can make a perception check or a persuasion check.
Let's see. I'll probably get a 9 like every other check I try to get. Persuasion.
Nice.
Ah! As you say that, even before you're done saying it, you can tell that Jen was already thinking that a little bit as they reach up and put their hand on Carlisle's shoulder as he goes, all right, okay. So we're going now then. All right, okay, let's go. And they both stand up.
Baskin is 100% trying to sneak out. This has been too much conversation. No, thank you. This is going to be too much heat coming out the door. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're trying to stealth, go ahead and roll a stealth check. By the way, the minor illusion did work. So they are now currently looking downstairs. They are actively distracted. So with your stealth check, go ahead and roll that at advantage, please.
That's going to be an 18 at advantage.
Wonderful. Yeah. You slowly or quickly and stealthily, and as soon as you touch any of the downstairs walls, there's one little door, but you don't even need to use it. You just kind of wheel yourself out and you're gone. Yeah,
13.
that'll work. That'll work as well as you out the back door. Revel
20.
with the 20. Perfect. Out the back door.
I think just had a realization that probably except in cases where she absolutely has to be silent, I like to think that every time Jinx goes invisible, she just like loudly proclaims "invisible" and then goes invisible. So she does that.
Wonderful.
Do the guards see-
Exactly. Bat. Oh, you're in my head.
That's what I was thinking too.
Same brain cell.
Yep.
Human form.
Do the guards seem interested in me at all?
Not particularly. They were mostly interested in Revelry and the cause of the noise, but those were the two biggest things that caught their attention. And with the minor illusion spell, they looked pretty distracted by that, as they did realize now that it is an illusion. They got there as they start to look around and seem a little bit confused. But everybody, I think.
Yeah, I'm just casually making my way out. I am going to scoop up an armful of fish
Okay.
that are still alive because I said it earlier. So
Yep.
I have
Flopping
an
around.
armful of wiggling fish. And I'm going to head out the door. And as she meets up with everyone, she has a fishtail hanging out of her mouth as she comes out of the door with fish in her arms. And then she kind of throws her head back and swallows it. So are we going then?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Did everyone leave? I believe Dram.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, you are able to get out. The centaurs have followed. The Tooth Fairy guards, one of them does follow you as well, and the second one pops out right after it. Are you running away, or are you just kind of standing there? Because they haven't said anything yet, but there are two of them that are coming out of the tree after you.
Oh, Baskin is moving. Baskin is this area is done. We're finished with this. This is a later place, not
Okay.
now.
All right. What about the rest of you?
Oh yeah, I'm leaving.
All right.
Mhm.
As you all quickly, Scooby-Doo style, make your way down the road towards the city of Iris, the Sprite City. As these two centaurs do say that, yeah, we're on the right track. We're going to find this thing. And they can kind of start to see a little bit of tracks as they sense the air. And you can tell that the night has kind of fallen, which is odd here in Elassidir. Jinx, you know that. You can see the moon. And that is where we're going to come back when we pick up from break.
Awesome. We're going to take a 15-minute break, so go grab food, snacks, drinks, whatever you need to do. Go stretch your legs, and we'll be right back in 15 minutes with our second half. are back.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. So, where we have just left off, we were just inside Hunera's Hearth, who, again, is one of the major dryads of the ancient grove of the forests of Elassidir. And after chatting a little bit with a couple of centaurs who have now joined your party for the time being, as the group of you, there are now 8 of you in this group, are tracking their prey, an escaped shapeshifter, werewolf of some kind that has left the realm of Umbervale, traveled through Nymphindor, and is now here in the realm of Elassidir. These 2 have been on the trail of those werewolves for a little bit. They've captured one of them, and the other one, the bigger one, is still out there somewhere. As you all have, well, kind of ran away now from Hunera's Hearth and escaped the eyes of the Tooth Fairy Forest Guards, who did recognize you, Revelry, after an Eldritch Blast had been shot out and rang around the Hearth itself. So the Tooth Fairy Forest Guards were on alert, but you managed to stealth past them, escape, and are now on the road. As the 8 of you now travel towards the city of Iris, the Sprite civilization, and Sylvia, the Tule Tree, the Dryad of the ancient grove as well. Carlisle and Jen are both walking alongside you as they are looking for tracks, as both of them are on high alert. And you've actually already found some. Looking around, they've identified that there was some tracks that were not super fresh within the past hour or so, but definitely within the past few hours. And as they point these out to you, because they also do want you to know what you are dealing with and what's kind of going to happen next, they point out that these claw marks that are made in the dirt actually dig up the soil of the road itself, which normally in the forests of Elassidir, even though there's these roots of a lot of big grove-like trees, a lot of ancient oak trees and things like that, the roads themselves, parts of the edges are pretty rooty, but the centers are pretty clear. And this digs directly through there. And these claw marks that you're seeing are at least a foot long, as these are big paw prints. This thing, if you see it in wolf form, it's going to stand pretty tall. And they've found a couple of tracks. You are on the road, on your way to Iris. What would you like to do?
Oh, while we're looking for tracks and everything, Bastien would definitely like to have Lychee in the air, keeping a lookout for things that are ahead.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for Lychee.
Sure thing. All right, 1 perception check right there, or a whole 19.
All right. So there's a lot happening in the forests, but there's nothing directly about this thing. Lychee does see a lot of life, a lot of birds. There's some brightly golden color birds that catch Lychee's attention, definitely, as their colors are a little bit clashing. There's a lot of insects, but no big creatures, no big wolves or things like that you're specifically looking for right in this area.
Cool.
I'm just following along, eating the rest of my fish. Because apparently, I looked it up, leopard seals eat between 20 and 30 pounds of fish a day. So she is just gulping down these fish.
So
That's a lot of
They're very good fish.
I once lived somewhere other than Gefelden, and there were hunter type folks there as well. They had certain calls for the animals they hunted. Do you have something similar?
Well, the ideal is that we're not going to alert it that we're here. So we are going to, if we get a sense that it's within a mile of us, which will happen, hopefully it doesn't sense that we are around first and we can get a jump on it.
Does it usually go that way? with werewolves?
Sometimes. This one might be a little bit tricky.
Hmm.
It's a doozy, isn't it? And Jen nods.
You are the experts on this situation. I just hope that we do get the upper hand as you're hoping.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Okay. Well, the faster we find it, the better we stand a chance. Isn't that right? If you can hunt it down, I will know if it's within a mile of us. So I just got to find the right direction.
Can I do a nature check to see if I can help track?
Absolutely. Go for it.
13.
Okay.
Or
So with that, you are able to see that, yes, it's definitely was heading kind of down the road, but it looks like it does trail off into the woods a little bit. So it's not directly following on the path. It looks like it's gone off into the more rough terrain of the Forest of Alastair, off the main road.
does it seem like Jen and Carlisle are aware of?
It looks like they kind of have that idea. They're like looking off in that direction, but they are currently deciding whether they want to trek off into the rough terrain and try and just actually go after this thing, or try and meet it down the road.
Baskin. Has Lychee already scouted in that direction?
I do not believe that he has seen anything, because normally if he sees the thing that he is trying to kill, he will. And he seems to have been very quiet so far. So, I'm sure he sees something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't like to do the thing. Other people do the thing and they look behind the eyes. It's very weird. I don't like to be. I don't like to be in his head. It's not a nice place.
It's understandable. He doesn't seem very friendly. And I'll kind of glance over at Ruli to make sure she didn't hear me be rude about the familiar.
I doubt it. She's crunching on some fish. It's not a pleasant sound.
So, as we're all walking along, I want to see if it's okay to do this. I think it would work this way, because prestidigitation is one action, so that's like a couple seconds, and minor illusion is also one action, and it can last up to a minute. So I think Jinx is making like a dog toy appear in her hand and is just randomly throwing this illusion out into the woods and making it squeak every so often, just to see if there's a werewolf out there.
That is wonderful. Are they the same toy every time, or is it different toys?
Oh, different ones for sure.
Okay,
like one's
good.
a bone, one's a ball, one's like in the shape of a steak.
Wonderful. You do know right now that this thing, as far as you're aware, is not even within a mile of you. And Carlisle has mentioned this, but he'll let you know.
Okay.
But they don't know right now if they want to go off the beaten path or move forward. And they kind of asked that question to you guys, especially Mira. You've just kind of figured out that it has gone into the woods, but do you have any particular way you want to go?
I'll look to the others. Do you feel that you have better fighting capabilities in places, or are you good at fighting in confined areas?
Well, I suppose for us, the bigger the area, the better. But that'd be true for it as well. I suppose we should probably stay on the main road until we sense it, huh? All right, onward. And Clive marches on, or Carlisle marches on,
Okay.
and Jen follows as they head, continuing down the road.
Oh,
Uh,
go ahead.
no,
I won't follow. I will wait for the others to answer as well.
I think maybe slightly before this, if there would have been just a second, Baskin would have gone over to Ruli and said,
Hey, so that the poof thing that you did and you put the thing in the tree. How does that work?
Have you ever gotten bitten by an oyster?
Would a muscle count?
No, it's not the same thing.
Oh.
Never mind. It's difficult to explain. Here, and she hands out a fish to you, just as an offer to eat. I don't know. I can control the ocean currents when I'm underwater, and I can do kind of the same thing here when I focus really, really hard. I can't do it a lot. I can only do it so many times, but it's harder if the creature isn't willing. But if the creature is willing, it's very easy.
And like say, does it have to be like on a just in the air? Can it be on someone's head? Like where he was in a tree. Why didn't you just poof on the air?
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that. When I'm underwater, it can be anywhere because the water supports you. Here, there's just air everywhere, and the air can't support you. So it can't just be anywhere. It has to be on a surface that can support the creature, at least for a moment.
Weird. Okay.
It's the problem of trying to use ocean magic, not in the ocean. Things get weird sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, that is understandable. Okay. All right. I understand.
Okay. Do you want another fish?
Yes, please. That would be absolutely lovely.
I will toss another one at him.
Hey, Ruli, Raskin. The centaurs are leaving us here. Do you think we should stay on the road or follow the tracks?
I mean, someone has to act as the bait, right?
Well, I thought that's what the squeaky toys were for.
Yeah. Jinx holds up this one will be in the shape of like a scroll that says like town newsletter or something like that on it, and like very fancy script. And she's just like squeeze it and just goes squeak squeak.
See, you telling me there's a better piece of bait than that?
Yes,
He
but
meant the centaur.
can any of us sense a werewolf when they're a mile away?
Nope.
I mean, Carlisle, wait up. I'll start running after the two centaurs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He kind of mutters
Well,
under
okay,
his
this
breath.
is what we're doing.
All right.
That's
As you all,
doing.
yeah, you all run down the road after these two centaurs. They didn't get that far away from you. You did need to hustle a little bit to keep up. They do have 4 legs and they are not moving particularly slowly, but it doesn't take that long. As you all kind of travel down after the next hour, 2, there's a lot of birds in this forest. There's a lot of things that start with you once in a while. It's odd that you feel like you see something, especially Lychee turns around and notices that, oh, there's something up. Wait. Okay, maybe there wasn't actually something over there. And this feels like the forest might be kind of playing tricks on you. And it is a weird sensation, but it doesn't feel hostile so much as it feels magic, illusory. As about an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, as Carlisle stops and pauses and looks around. I feel it. Okay. That way. As you now clearly see, there's a full moon above you. And Carlisle goes off into the woods. And then he turns back. I forgot that there's more of you. So here's what we're thinking. We're going to go and stealth towards this thing. We're going to try and be sneaky. We're going to try and not let it find us. This thing, though, is big, and it might already know that we are around. We don't actually know for sure. So do be on alert. Any chance that it can get, it'll take. So, what is better for you all? Actually, we can try and lure it to the road. How do you fight?
I think we should ask the trees first.
Can you do that? And he looks up like,
I'm a tree, Carl. Yes. And I will hold my hand up and begin to whisper. It'll kind of sound like parcel tongue, almost like. And once I have asked my question, I will kind of extend my hand out and let a soft breeze carry my words into the trees as I asked them if the werewolf was aware of our location.
okay. Are you using any particular skill, or is this just to shock?
Dryads have arboreal affinity, which allows them to speak to trees as if you share a language.
Wonderful. Go ahead and make a persuasion check as you talk to these trees.
Ah, 10.
As you hear back, just a simple yes.
They say that it knows we're here. It may not be best to sneak in alone to lure it. What do you suggest, Carla?
Well, if it knows that we're here, I don't sense it leaving the area, which means it is probably on the way.
Time to pull out the squeaky toys.
Time to pull out the squeaky toys. Jen, you
Yes.
ready? And Jen takes off her helmet from behind them and puts it on and takes off this gigantic crusader-like shield that is bright blue and gold with rimmed silver, and kind of smashes that into the ground right next to them as they unhook their curved sword.
See, Carla, why can't you be that cool? You say you want to be like Clive, but I bet Clive has armor like that.
Okay. Well, he does. Okay. We'll talk about that later, I think. As he pulls out his longbow and takes out a few arrows that you can see are very shiny silver. So by the way, right, this is a werewolf. You all, are you ready for that? Do you have silvered weapons? Do you have magic? Because those, if it's not this or magic, it's probably not going to cut it.
Oh, I don't use weapons.
Okay. All right. Perfect. We ready? Good. Let's prep, because this thing's fast and it's on its way. As you are still in the main road.
Yeah, I think Jinx is gonna hop on Bob, the raven, and just start like sort of circling over the party, and just tell them, Jen and Carlisle, just let me know when you need the distraction, and then I'll throw the toy.
All right. Well, so you're gonna, hide up there. We're gonna just stand in the middle. The rest of you do whatever it is you're gonna do. You'll see when it's here, probably.
I'm gonna hide somewhere a little away from where they will be engaging this werewolf.
Are the rest of you doing anything?
Assuming,
Yeah, if you're hiding or stealthing or doing anything, yeah, Amira, go.
yeah.
Reverie is
I'm-
going to hide as well.
Before I hide, I'm going to use Forest Magic to cast Spark Skin without expelling a spell slot on Beskine so that his AC won't drop below 16. And then I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on Jen and give him Bear's Endurance, which will give him advantage on Constitution saves and 2d6 health,
Okay, go ahead and roll that 2d6 health.
7 additional health.
Okay, let me add it to Jen's stats. 7. What else did it add?
He gets advantage on all Constitution checks.
Okay. Wonderful.
And I'll pretend to be a tree.
All right, excellent.
Baskine is going to kind of take a moment and realize that we are about to fight in the dark, and it doesn't seem like anybody else has really noticed that it's really fucking dark. And so he's just going to cough up a few fireflies that kind of crawl out of his mouth and then float around, and we'll send them over to a tree a little ways away, just, enough to illuminate the area, and we'll go and try to stealth in a bush.
All right. I love that. That's awesome. So if anybody is making a stealth check, go ahead and roll that. Any other actions or bonus actions that we're doing while we're prepping? From anybody?
Once I hear it, I'd like to spend a bonus action to activate the Eldritch Claws.
Okay. About 15, 30 seconds go by after you all prep, and you sit, and it's silent. Even the birds that were around are silent. As you hear a low rustling in some of the plants, as directly across the path that you are further away from you down the road, you see this thing bolt quickly across the path. And as it jumps through, it clears the entire path in one leap. As this thing, you all can kind of clearly see it from even your hiding spots because it rolled really, really bad, that it is massive. This is in wolf form at the moment, and it looks like even from foot to top of back, it's about 10, 15 feet tall, as this is a big, big creature. As it jumps over the edge and disappears back into the forest. As it runs through, and it knows generally where you are. But all of you rolled decently, and it actually rolled pretty bad. As it disappears into the forest, and you can see that Carlisle and Jen are in the middle. They are just waiting for this thing. As soon as it has jumped through, Jen is moving around, kind of flanking Carlisle, as they have an arrow ready. You wait for another 10 seconds, 30 seconds. As it jumps into the middle of the road, and now you can see it standing there, facing off right there in front of the two centaurs. This is a massive wolf. And it's not just a regular sized wolf. The right side of its back looks to be kind of humped in a way. It has a massive lunge, or a big mass on the right side of its shoulder, as one of its eyes is much smaller than the other, and it is huge. I need everyone to roll initiative. All right, so let's see here. We have, looks like really, oh, what am I typing? Then we have 17 is Revelry. 16 is Bashkin. Let's see. 14 is Dram. We have 9 is Jinx. And 6, Amira, bringing us up at the rear. Where is everyone else fitting? Give me 1 second. All right, Ruli, you are hidden. You are stealthed, and as far as you are aware, this thing does not see you. It is in the middle of the road. You are about 45, 50 feet away from it. It is further down the road than you are all kind of congregated. But it's visible, and it's clearly right over there, about 40, 50 feet out. What do you do?
I'm a sorcerer. I didn't expect to go first. I am going to... I think it's pretty big. Throwing it up in a tree is not going to do anything because it'll just jump down. My friends who need to get up close and personal with it when they fight, how close are you all? Are you close enough that you can make it in a movement, or would you appreciate help?
How far away did you space yourselves when you all hit? Were you still within the same little... I'm thinking we were in the same little zone, but if you space yourself further away, let me know.
Baskin would have been within 1 movement of the, like, kind of the targeted area.
Okay.
Yeah, same with Reverie.
In that case... yeah. Ruli draws water out of her sealskin and forms it into an ice ball that shoots forward at this werewolf. So it casts Chromatic Orb. There it is. 17 to hit.
That is going to hit, yeah.
It does 17 points of ice damage.
Woof.
I rolled 2 8s and a 1.
Nice.
Okay, well, hey, that's not nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna start. Oh wait, no, I can't because that was the first level spell. Yeah, I'm gonna set it up for something else. As that hits, Ruli lets out a bit of a shriek as I quicken Mind Sliver.
Okay.
It's going to be an intelligence saving throw.
All right. Woof. That's a 5, so that's not going to do it.
That's a failure. So it does. Can I roll this as a thing? It does 10 points of psychic damage,
Okay.
and he will subtract 3 from his next saving throw.
All right. Perfect.
And I will just kind of duck back behind a tree with the squeak.
Good start. Wonderful. Revelry, you're up. You are hidden. You're about 45, 50 feet away from this thing. It did not love that. What do you do?
Oh goodness, let me see here real quick. Can I use sneak attack and fancy footwork at the same time? On the same. Oh, it's okay. So it's only for melee attack. Okay. I think I'm going to. It's probably not going to do much because werewolf, but I don't have much choice here. So, sneak attack with short bow. So, Reverie's gonna kind of lean out from behind the tree and notch an arrow and hope for the best and hope this thing doesn't turn towards him as he fires an arrow towards it.
Right, yeah, 16's gonna hit. Oh boy. But is your weapon right now a magical weapon or silvered?
No, it is not.
No, it is not. As you launch this arrow, even with your incredible accuracy, it doesn't even pierce. It just blink, kind of just looks like it skates off the fur of this thing.
Well, that answers that thing.
As it did feel it, though, as it looks up and you can hear its low growl as it starts to scan the woods. And how did you all roll? Definitely clocks Jen and Carlisle, who are very clearly out in the open. And Amira, you'd notice that it locks eyes exactly with you as well.
Okay.
As it growls menacingly and leaps over Jen and trying to pin Carlisle to the ground. And that is going to... Yeah, that's going to hit. As this thing leaps over in midair and tackles Carlisle as Jen turns around and uses... Let's see, what can they do? Oh, they're going to add disadvantage to that, actually. So that's not going to hit. As Jen clinks up and even bounces this massive wolf off of the Crusader shield that they're holding with both hands and launches this wolf off track as it skids in the row, as now it is directly in between all of you and much, much closer, having failed this attack thanks to this big ol' shield that was right there. Baskin, you're up. What do you do?
Fantastic. So, I have this weird ability that I'm not really sure what it does because it hasn't been used before. But it is from the champion of the champion book that we're do.
Sure.
And it is skirmish nature. So
Okay.
it lets me do something with initiative. So when I roll for initiative, I can choose one enemy creature, and that creature has to make an insight check against my deception check. I don't know if that's like before the combat starts or if that is specifically before my action, because it just kind of vaguely says the creature is surprised by you. And so I don't know what the exact mechanics and the exact implication of that is.
So I would say that would happen when the creature notices your presence in the fight. And
Okay.
if you're just rolling initiative and you're just out there, then it would happen then. But especially if you're trying to hide from this thing, it wouldn't necessarily
Okay.
know that you were there until you have made yourself known. So I would say when that
Okay.
happens, when you make yourself known in a fight is when that would happen.
Great. Well, in that case, Baskin is going to, it is within striking distance, yeah?
Mm-hmm. It is within
Fantastic.
10, 15 feet.
Oh,
Right there in
great.
the road.
Then Baskin is just going to, with incredible speed, run out of the underbrush and just haul back with a giant fist and leap forward. And yeah, I guess that would be. So, is it already surprised by me, or do we need to make this check?
Yeah, let's make this check right now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the
cool.
creature makes
That
the
is-
wisdom insight check.
I make deception.
Deception.
Nat 20.
Woof.
24.
All right, that doesn't matter what I got. It does matter, and you still win. So
Wonderful. In that case, Baskin is just going to leap forward, and a little bit of flame is going to start circling around his knuckle in midair, and we're going to land with an unarmed strike.
right.
Oh my god, it's another nat 20.
Holy heck.
See, that's a big thing though, because I also have the skirmisher.
Yeah, you do.
Or no, I have ambusher, and
Yeah,
so if I
that one.
attack a creature on a surprise round, I deal an extra 2d6 damage.
Yep.
So cool. So let's just go ahead and knock out that 4d6 right now. Oh man, this is a little more than I was expecting.
We were ready for this combat. We came
Yeah.
in hard.
You really did.
Oh.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, cool. So there's that, and we'll do
Okay.
that unarmed strike as well. This is all gonna be fire. Yeah, okay, cool. So that is a grand total of 19.
All right. So, a quick question for
Or
you.
19 for the hit, and then the other whatever.
And you're striking
Okay.
with your magical claws right now, yeah?
Hey, my unarmed strikes are considered magical for the purpose
Yes,
of
they are.
overcoming damage reduction.
Perfect. Then, wow, yeah, that's going to be a doozy. Plus.
But wait, there's
But wait.
more.
Oh boy.
Let's go ahead and get a stunning strike on there,
All right.
because I saw that the little ability that that Ruli used again.
Okay.
So that is a
That's what
DC
it's there for.
13.
Yep.
So it's -3.
Oh. What save is that?
It is a Constitution saving throw.
Does a 9 make it?
9 does not make it.
All right. Then it also is stunned.
Oh man.
As you
Okay, cool.
just with one hit jump out of the brush and hard clock on this thing. It does not know what to make of you. You are so much smaller than it is, and wow, you just got it real good, bamboozled.
I
Anything
think
else?
we're gonna follow it up with a quick punch to the throat, and then we're gonna try to drop a headbutt on him.
Nice.
These are both gonna be fire as well. That's a 26 because he's stunned.
He is stunned. That's a 26. Yep.
So that is another 11 and 12. I imagine a 12's gonna miss, yeah.
12 is not going to hit. No. Yes,
Headbutt
12.
doesn't land.
All right. Huh, that was a good round. That was a lot of stuff. Good job. Dram, what are you doing?
I also do not have any magical weapons or anything that could actually hurt this this werewolf. So I guess Dram will just get closer with his movement action. 60 feet.
Oh, right now this thing is about 10, 15 feet in front of you, so you don't need to get
10, 15
that much
feet.
closer. It has jumped over the centaurs. It has missed its target and has been propelled into the air a little bit off course of where it wanted to be by Jen. So it is pretty close to you right now.
Okay. Carlisle's still down, right?
Carlisle actually never went down. That was so Jen imposed disadvantage on that attack in the first place because they are
Gotcha.
very good at what they do.
Thank God for that. Yeah, so let's just approach this approach the werewolf. And I guess I'm gonna try to shove it with my action.
All right. Go ahead and make a strength contest for me.
Why not? It's athletics, right? For sure. Okay, buddy. Only 15.
15, let's see. As you jump up and make yourself known, this thing immediately turns its head and looks at you as you actually notice You didn't quite get close enough before, but there's something about the eyes and about the shape of this thing that I need Dram to make a history check for me.
History, okay. Okay.
Okay, with a 13. So you recognize kind of the facial shape of this thing, and taking into account the size, the massive mass that seems to be on the right shoulder of this kind of mangy looking wolf. This again came from Umberville. You think this is probably a Fomorian, potentially. This is a massive thing. And it is, to be, this is an evil creature. And you can see that in its eyes, and that this thing is not to be fucked with. As you shove it, and it does not go anywhere. As it stares you down, you are now face to face with this massive beast. All right, anything else you got?
Update. Not friendly. Very not friendly.
Appreciate the information, Dram.
Hadn't noticed.
I've seen one of these kill many, many things before. Please do not take this thing lightly.
All right, Dram, you got anything else?
No.
All right. As you go up and put your all into this push, that it was so dense, and you touch the fur, and the fur kind of cracked. It's underneath your push, like it's caked in something. As you hear behind you hoof prints, as Jen rides in and does a similar attack to you, slamming their entire body into this creature. And I need them to do that. And as it's focused on you, looking just directly at you with one smaller eye, one bigger eye, you hear and feel and see this crash of blue and silver and gold as Jen at full speed bashes into this creature, and it crumples onto the ground, taking a little bit of damage as well from that massive hit. But more than anything, it has been knocked off its senses. It's not having a great time right now. Jinx, you're up.
Well, my original plan was to drop a, squeaky toy behind it and distract it, but it seems that all-out brawling has happened since that plan was formed. Thank you so much for the donation.
Thank you.
So I think we're gonna do Chill Touch instead. Hold on 1 second. Awesome. And then there we go. So I just had to get the information. So thank you so much for that $30 donation. Just let me know in chat what you would like to put that towards, if you want to do an asset or a challenge or crits or anything like that, and we'll get those on the board. So I'm gonna do Chill Touch at a 17.
17 is gonna hit. Yep.
Awesome. So that will do that's a horrible damage roll. So 3 necrotic damage, and then it can't regain hit points currently.
Okay. Whoa, no. Okay, 3 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points. Perfect.
It's for a certain amount of time. What is it? It's sorry, closed it accidentally. There we go. It can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn. So this sort of ghostly, skeletal, creepy looking hand just sort of shoots out of Jinx's focus, and just latches on to, just because I think it's funny, it latches onto the werewolf's ankle, and just sort of saps that little bit of health away, and it keeps it from regaining hit points.
All right. Perfect.
And thanks so much. So that is an advantage for everyone except the GM.
All right, perfect. Love it. Get this thing. Jinx, anything else from you? Or is that it?
Let's see. That's my action. Let's see. It's currently fighting.
Dram, Jin, and Baskin are all right next to it.
I think since Baskin is super melee and it's kind of getting in the thing's face the most, I think I'm going to do Sanctuary as a bonus action. Assuming I can get within 30 feet of Baskin.
Yep, definitely.
So it wards a creature within range against attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or a harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, they have to choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. It doesn't protect the warded creature from area effects such as explosions or fireball. If a warded creature makes an attack or casts a spell that affects an enemy creature, the spell ends.
All right.
I will do that, and
Yes,
that
go ahead and roll
will. That's just the thing.
Oh, yeah. So that is now a round. Perfect. Let's.
And that's it. That's for
All
me.
right. Excellent. Amira, you're up next. What are you doing?
I think you're muted there.
Oh, yep.
As I realized that the werewolf was aware of me, I've stepped forward, and as a circle of spores druid, I don't wild shape. Instead, I would kind of take a deep breath, and as I do so, the mushrooms on my body will kind of expand and then burst, in a cloud of like necrotic bluish green spores will start to flow in the air around me as I activate a symbiotic entity, becoming one with my spores, to increase my HP by 4 temporary hit points per level. And my Halo of Spores reaction will also do damage a second time when I do activate. That counts as an action, so that will end my turn. Just kind of prepare.
All right. Sounds good. That brings us to then Carlisle, who has not been knocked down, turns around and unleashes just 2 arrows at this thing. And you can see they both off. Nope. I rolled a 7 and an 8 for those. As we go back to the top of the order, Ruli, you're up. What do you want to do now?
Waiting for someone to answer my question. I'm gonna vamp for a second. So this thing is surrounded by our melee fighters. No, I'm getting a no. Okay. I'm not gonna do that then. Okay. In that case, how bad off does this thing look currently? What condition is it in?
This thing has taken a couple of hits, and some of those hits, to be fair, were some doozies. But it's this thing is huge. Not actually huge as like the categorization, but it's those hits, even big, it's still up. It's still looking okay.
Okay. In that case, yeah, okay. I'm going to quicken Mind Sliver. So again, I'm going to step out from a tree and give a shriek. Again, at a frequency I think that the werewolf's ears pick up. And that is an intelligence saving throw.
All right. Oh my goodness. I need to use a different dice. Well, I mean, intelligence isn't its strong suit anyway, so that's a 1.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes 10 psychic damage. And it'll subtract 3 off of its next save.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast spell you've seen before. Nobody sees anything except this this werewolf as I begin singing my heart song. Again, Veskine, it's very much a horror story of what lives in the deep below. And there's no visible effect except to the werewolf, who sees silver chains start wrapping up around his legs and his neck. And that's going to be an intelligence saving throw, -3,
Oh boy. Oh boy, which die do I
DC
use?
16.
Holy heck. Nope. Nope, that's an 8. So
Awesome. Yeah, so
minus your
these
3,
chains,
minus the 1 for intelligence, that's a 4.
it's a solid roll. So the chains wrap up his arms and kind of start wrapping around his neck. Chains made of silver. So it does 1d6, and then each round on my turn, it does it again.
Okay.
That's 5 points of psychic damage
All right.
as these chains coil and constrict around him. And I will duck back behind my tree.
Now, is there a saving throw on your turn or on his turn?
The saving throw is on... The target can use its action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence investigation check against my spell save DC.
I see.
If he
Wonderful.
succeeds on that check using his action, then it ends.
Of course it does. Wonderful.
Yep.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, that's great. Revelry, you're up.
Well, seeing Boskine dish out some fire damage gave me an idea. How far away is this thing from me currently?
Within 10 feet. It again jumped almost directly in front of most of you now. It's right there.
Okay, I have a flask of oil. I would like to throw this flask of oil on the werewolf, and if it hits, the target should be covered in oil, which will dry in 1 minute. And any fire damage it takes within that minute, add an extra 5 additional damage. Now I have to make a ranged attack for that, so that just be a d20 plus
Plus your
dexterity.
dex. Yep.
Awesome. So I'm going to... Really?
Oh boy.
You do have an advantage.
That's fair.
That's true. I'm going to roll that again. Now watch it be like a nat one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's... Well,
Better.
It's
that's
better.
better.
As you lob this flat of oil, it sails through the sky and just right over it. It's a big thing, and you did overshoot it just a little bit, unfortunately.
Just my luck.
Reverie.
Reverie, you got anything else?
That was an action, so... Gonna cower back behind my tree
All right.
with my hurt pride.
Okay. Wonderful. As this thing takes a moment and looks around at each of you, at its paws, and looks up as it stands up, and you can hear its bones creaking as
Isn't it stunned?
it is stunned.
I think it's
It's not
stunning
going to do anything
strike.
then. You're right. That's until your next turn. It's going to be very, very unhappy for just a little bit longer. Wonderful. Basket, you're up.
Cool. Last round worked so well. Let's just do that. Let's just do that whole thing again. I think.
You're right.
I think Baskin is just kind of standing on his shoulder at this point and is just going, trying to go for the nose as much as possible. That's got to hurt these things. So yeah, one unarmed for 10. Nope. 15.
15 is going to hit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is going to be 14 of fire. I feel like fire is just going to work. And let's go ahead and do a flurry of blows on there as well. So I'll make another 2
All right.
for 21,
That one's going to hit.
and that's another 14. And one last one for 25.
Still doing it.
And I think the kind of little bit of thunder that or lightning that comes with the stunning strike starts to build up, and Baskin just looks at this poor, stupid, evil thing's eyes and it's like, it's not really fair, and will not stunning strike. But will deal another 13 points of fire damage.
Wonderful.
And will then scurry away.
All right.
We are now on top of it.
Yep. Everyone has now congregated on this thing. Dram, you are right next to it. It is your turn. What are you doing?
Okay. It's stunned right now.
It is no longer stunned. It has shaken off the stun.
Okay.
It is not currently stunned any longer. No.
Okay, so Dram is gonna. Well, how far is Carlisle from Dram?
Carlisle is about 30, 40 feet off.
Okay, and
It looks like
Jin.
he backed up a little bit on his last turn to get a better aim at this thing.
Jin's right next to Dram, or something like that, right?
Yep. Jen is right in the fray, right next to you.
Okay. You're just having an off day, Carlisle. let's get it together. And Dram will, I guess, give the help action to Jin.
Okay. Awesome.
So, let me just make sure I have it correct. Yeah, you can aid a friendly creature in attacking creature within 5 feet of you. You feint, distract, or in some way team up to make your allies' attack more effective. So Dram says that, then reaches down and like scoops up some dirt, just throws this thing's eye.
Okay. Awesome.
Jen.
Jen is going to take full advantage of this and just take 2 swings with their sword. As the first one is not going to make it, unfortunately. They have advantage on that, don't they? That is going to hit with the sand. It does help. And the second one is also going to hit as well. So they're going to hit on both of their attacks, which is great for them, as they are going to deal 13 magic slashing damage, and oh boy, they are going to deal another 15 slashing damage as well. As they don't say anything, but they do just, Dram, you can hear this as you're that close. I don't think anybody else is close enough, but you hear this low guttural rumbling coming from Jen, as this wolf is now only focused in their direction. Jinx, you're up.
Awesome. I think Jinx is going to see that fire's working pretty well on this thing. I think from her perch atop Bob up in the air, is just going to look at the werewolf and be like, "You're not looking so hot. Maybe I can help you with that." And then shoot off a firebolt at 24.
Yep, that'll hit.
For 7 fire damage.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to do Sanctuary again. On, you said it's seems to be locking eyes on Jen now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll do Sanctuary on Jen.
Okay. Awesome. So then that ward then transfers over, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Amira, what are you up to?
For a moment, I'll be distracted by the whispering of the spores, and then I'll focus myself in on the werewolf and extending out the left hand. The rose vinework tattoo will kind of glow and then whip out as a coiling vine that just seems to grow from beneath my flesh as it goes towards the neck of the werewolf, and he has to make a strength saving throw to see if he is grappled or not.
Okay. As these vines
14 is what he has.
Okay. Perfect. As these vines wrap around him, especially not being stunned anymore, it's kind of like the vines are having even a tough time growing on this thing, as it does not even really care that this is happening to it. It is breaking free of all of these, like no problem.
As I see that it's not going to work, I run forward even as it's kind of breaking out of them to within 10 feet so that Halo of Spores reacts as my reaction, and it will spread out from me to surround him. I'll kind of position myself at the flank of Jen.
Okay.
Paste that into chat. So they will need to succeed on a Constitution saving throw. They have to beat a 13.
All right. Yeah, that is going to be a 21.
Okay, I'll just settle back.
Yeah, these spores hit it in the face. And once again, it doesn't look like this is even phasing this creature. As Carlisle gets to go next. It's another arrow. Oof. Oh, dude, come on. All right, first hit of the day for Carlisle. Wonderful. As that is going to be 9 piercing damage as this arrow embeds itself in this wolf. As we're back at the top of the order, Ruli, what do you got for us?
Peeking out from the side of my tree, I'm going to look at the werewolf, and I'm going to look over at Basking and make eye contact and give him a nod for a plan that we made earlier. And I begin casting a spell, and I'm going to hold it until Basking's turn.
All right, wonderful.
And that's what I'm doing.
Excellent. Revelry, what do you got?
Well, I have one more flask of oil, and I am determined to not be completely useless. So, watch me fail to hit it again. So, gonna peek out from behind my tree and lob that other flask of oil at the werewolf. Hey, 21!
Hey, that one will hit, yeah. As the flask sails through the air and splatters all over this wolf, who is now, albeit not a huge flask, so not a huge part of the wolf, because this is a big, big creature, but it definitely has oil splashed over its left shoulder. This is where you were able to get it. As it is its turn. As now, it starts to stand up on its back legs, and you can hear it start to transform as it loses some of its hair and gets these massive long claws. As it raises up, now this thing stands 20-25 feet tall. It is taking up a lot of space as this thing has gone from 4 legs to 2 legs. Its face is still wolf-like, but it also has very Fomorian qualities. This is a giant of Umbravel, and also a werewolf. As it looks around, grabs a whole tree next to it, and rips it out of the ground as it swings directly at Jen.
Actually, it needs to pass the
wisdom saving throw, doesn't it?
Yeah, DC 15.
DC 15, wonderful. That is an 11 plus 2. Nope, 13.
So I think it can't attack Jen, but it can attack someone else if it's able to.
Is it able to? This is an interesting combination of abilities that's happening here. Okay. Yeah, I think it then would have to turn to somebody else, which it's not what Jen wanted, but as it then turns towards you, Dram, as it swings its club. It was a tree at one time. As it hits you for, is a 23 going to do it?
Absolutely.
Probably, yeah. Let's see. Where's this one?
Question real quick, because
Yep.
it has bearing on this turn. Holding an action takes your reaction. Is that correct?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Yeah. So I can't help. Sorry.
You are going to take 14 bludgeoning damage as you get thwacked by this tree.
I'm gonna use my reaction to uncanny dodge.
Okay, wonderful. As it is going to take its second attack at you, Baskin. And that is going to be a 19 to hit.
It's only fair.
All right. And that is going to deal to you 20 bludgeoning damage as you get thwacked by an entire tree. As this thing roars in fury, it is not happy, and there is a lot of people around it. You can see that it is, again, this is now almost a huge creature. Now we actually can almost say that word. It's including its massive right shoulder. It's standing about 25 feet tall, but its head is a little bit lower than the top of its back. So it is mad, and it is here, and it is Bashkin's turn. You're up.
So okay, so I noticed on my character sheet I had temporary health. I do not remember where we got the temporary health from.
That was my bad. I was supposed to go on my character sheet, and I'm trying to keep track of everyone's health.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. No worries. All right then. That all good. I thought I was going crazy there for a second. Okay. So 20 points of damage. Ouchies. Less comfortable than I thought.
I'm gonna give you a nervous look. Do you still want to do the plan?
What is the? Can you describe what are the trees like around here?
There's a lot of different types of trees. There's a lot of oak trees, specifically, like big kind of thick branches that immediately come up to a bunch of like bushy branches over here. There's other smaller trees as well, but fewer of those. This is a pretty old forest, so a lot of the trees that have existed here for quite a while.
So they're real tall.
They're pretty tall, yeah.
Well, like how tall are we talking about?
The tallest trees or the smallest trees? Because the tallest trees in this area are about 150, 200 feet tall.
All right.
Maybe
all right.
even taller. You can't quite see. There's a big canopy up there, but smaller
right,
trees. Yeah, there's smaller ones around. The one that this guy ripped out of the ground was not one of the massive trees, but is still not a small one.
Cool. Then I think from under the crushed branches and limbs of this tree that has slammed on top of poor Baskin, maybe Ruli will see the quick flash of little lizard eyes. Like, yeah, okay, now.
Okay. So I will release this spell, and the swirl of ice and fog swirls around Baskin under this tree, and he disappears, and 90 feet up in the air on the side of a tree reappears in a burst of sea foam and ice. Go for it.
And then I am going to leap from the tree and dive bomb onto this guy. You know, full like 1 foot down, just ready to kick him square in the skull.
Right, I'm into it.
Yeah. So
That's
what's
90
that,
feet up.
Yeah,
what's
it is,
that fall
isn't it?
damage look like?
Oh boy. So fall damage is 1d6 per 10 feet. So that's 96 fall damage. But hey, guess who's also falling? It's you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm confident. Gotta
Okay.
risk it.
All right. Okay. A 21 definitely hits though. Oh, wait, no, that's not your roll.
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
That was
Yeah,
it's a
Yep,
15.
that was the old one. Yep, just barely. You hit him.
All right, cool. So that is 12 points of 6 points of fire, 6 points of force.
Okay.
And add for the oil too. Add 5 points.
Add 5 for the oil, absolutely. More fire damage. As you are trying to land this, I need you to make an acrobatics dexterity saving throw for me.
Cool. Yeah, that is gonna be 22.
Yeah. Great. As with all of your training, it's like this is the moment that you've been planning for. Oh, this is the biggest thing that you've probably gotten the pleasure to fight. As you drop in from above. Let's see. How much is this going to do?
Oh, wait, it's 25 feet tall, so he's only falling 65 feet.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 90 feet. Okay.
Well, yeah, I put him 90 feet above the ground,
Oh, I see.
but he's
That
hitting
is
it.
how math works, isn't it?
Yeah. Is
Yep,
an extra
yep.
force giving him any extra damage? He's a falling mass of scales.
He is a falling mass of scales, and that I think came with his attack. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here. I'm just gonna roll this one in the d20. Actually, that's a lot of dice. Let's do 5,
That's
d6.
a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage. It's 21 fallen damage.
And so I'm gonna take none because of Monk's slow fall.
Yep, absolutely.
Ah,
As you just slam just directly into this thing, as square in the back, it just crumples and it's still standing as you slide off of it, but wow, it did not like that. You use part of its shoulder to whoosh, jump off and float gently down to the ground.
There's a cheer and a-
successful drop.
There's a cheer and a clap from behind a tree.
Holy shit, that worked way better than I actually thought it would. Ow! Ow!
All right, this thing is still up. Dram, you've just got slapped by a tree. What are you up to?
Well, that hurt. So Dram's just gonna use his action to dodge.
Okay, fair.
To dodge, and that's all I can do in this situation.
All right, excellent.
Or
Uh,
actually,
yeah.
Oh no, dodge takes it in action.
Okay. As Jen gets to go now. Let's see. Jen's gonna turn to you, Dram, and just point in your general direction and use Turn the Tide as a bonus action. And you are going to heal for 6. Yeah, you're gonna heal for 6. So it's not all of it, but it is just a little bit of touch up.
Nice.
As they are also going to turn towards this thing and take 2 more attacks at it. The first one is going to hit, and the second one is going to miss. So that is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pretty good hit, about 14 slashing damage with the silver curved blade. And that is going to be Jen's turn. Jinx, you're up.
So I have a question for you in
Yeah.
Zoom chat.
I did not. Can I cast darkness? Ooh. So darkness has a radius, so you can definitely cast it there, but it will affect everything in the zone.
Yes.
Yes.
My question was more, can I cast it on that specifically so that it follows that, or will it just
Can.
be perfect? Okay.
Yes, you can.
That's what I'm going to do. Before I do that, Jinx is going to call out to Ruli and Baskin and be like, hey, great job, friends. You're doing awesome. And then, gonna cast, where did it go? Darkness onto the werewolf's nose. And Basically, see, try following your nose now. Yeah, and it's 15-foot radius, and this thing was what, 25 feet up now?
Yep, just about.
So yeah, just 15-foot radius right on its nose as the center.
Okay, excellent.
And that's an action. And for my movement, I think I'm gonna get a little bit lower and closer to the party, just in case I need to help them if they get too hurt.
Wonderful.
But that'll be my turn.
Excellent. Love it. Amira, you're up.
Does the darkness obscure our vision of the werewolf?
So this thing is tall enough now where even centered on its nose, a 15-foot radius doesn't really reach your heads. So it is above
Okay.
you. You could see this sphere of darkness, and then just the body, the two bottom legs and tail of this gigantic creature that is sitting next to you.
Is Pasquine still on top of it? Or have
Baskin
you-
has slipped off and is now on the ground floor.
Okay. In that case, since I can still see it, I'm going to kind of move that vine that's still kind of tangling from my arm until it makes a kind of loop in a radius around us. And then I'm going to painfully cut it off my arm. And as it begins to wither, the spores will whisper something in a language I don't know out of my mouth, and the ground will begin to wither. The werewolf has to make a constitution saving throw as I cast Wither and Bloom.
Okay. What's the save? What's the DC?
13.
12.
Awesome. As the ground starts to wither, it will also move towards the werewolf and do potentially 3d6 necrotic damage. It'll take 6 necrotic damage. At the same time,
Okay.
the withering vines will kind of shoot up and begin to bloom and plant life, and then move towards Pasquine, wrapping around him. And Pasquine, you are able to roll 2 hit die and heal yourself for the total of the 2 die together.
Awesome. Good turn. All right. As Carlisle is going to go, heal for 8. Nice. Amir, anything else? Or is that it? Wonderful. Carlisle is going to take 2 shots at this thing. That is a nat 20 from Carlisle and a 20 plus. Good job, Carlisle. Hey, you did it. It's 5. Carlisle's gonna get some good hits in as these 2 arrows go into the darkness. Hey, no one knows. Into the darkness they go. Oh man, it is into darkness, isn't it? No, he's still fine. Great. You hear this monster roar out in pain, but you don't see where these things go. Ruli, you're up.
So this is complicated because the creature's half in darkness, half out. It is blinded, so we have advantage against it. Correct?
It cannot see, but darkness doesn't necessarily give disadvantage on it. Although if you are attacking into the darkness, it would give disadvantage on you, although its body is also sticking out of the darkness because it is a big boy. So
Yeah. So would I wouldn't be like attacking unseen or anything like
No,
that.
no.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't know you're there, but that doesn't give you advantage necessarily.
Okay. In that case,
Because it knows you're there, but it can't see you directly. It does, however, still have its good senses. So do keep that
Yeah.
in mind as well. It cannot see you, but it has other things.
In that case, I'm going to draw more seawater out of my seal skin and spin it into a ball of ice again and throw another chromatic orb at it. This one upcast, the 3rd level. I really hope this hits. Oh! Anything I can do.
You have an advantage.
I do have an advantage.
That's true. That's true.
Oh. Yeah, I'll use it. I don't want to blow a 3rd level spell like that. $19 to hit.
That one is going to hit.
25 points of ice damage. It shatters against his pelvis.
Yeah. Wow. As this just explodes on impact. And again, you can hear this thing roaring out in pain. This is not looking good for this creature at the moment. It is still standing, but having a bad day.
Yeah, I'm going to take a few steps forward then and pulling water out of my seal skin again for my water whip and hit it in the ankle.
All right.
Oh,
13's not going to do it.
yep, that's okay. I'll take a few steps back again and slip behind my tree.
All right. As this thing is covered in darkness with its whole face. Cool. It's going to use its bonus action to try and identify where somebody is using its ears and its nose. So it has image on that. Okay. It knows roughly where some folks are. So it is going to swing down towards the general direction of, let's see, who would this hit? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's roll a d4 and see just which one he is going to be able to hit. Either Jen, Bashkin, Dram, or Ruli would be right there, I believe. That's a 1. He's going to swing at Jen. So you see just a wildly flinging arm swing down, and that is going to be a 19 to hit. And you see Jen get impacted by this tree, and it knocks her down a little. It knocks them down a little bit as they're going to take a big hit. They're going to take 14 bludgeoning damage. As this thing is going to swing again wildly, and it's going to hit a 1 again. So that's also going to swing at Jen. That is going to be a 17 plus whatever. So plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's going to hit also. And that is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Jen has taken 2 pretty decent smacks with this tree. They're still up, and they look relatively fine, but they didn't love that. As you see, this thing is now going to try and bolt into the woods as it takes off. Everybody who is next to it, if you have a reaction left this turn, may take an opportunity attack if you would like to. And that would be Bashkin, Dram, Jen, and Ruli, I believe. If you have a melee attack, you can do, because you are right there.
Yeah, I'm 30 feet back.
Oh, okay, not really.
Nice.
Even with an attack, I wouldn't do anything.
Fair.
I mean, since we're attacking it and we were having a fun little game here, and if it wants to run away, then that's totally fine. But I'm gonna, this is the melee attack. Let's go ahead and drop a Sonic Strike into there.
Okay.
Let's just go ahead and try that for fun.
All right. Okay. And that's a nat 1 from me.
It's we're looking 13 for the save. That's not that much damage. So I rolled it as a nat 20. So it's just 9 points of damage. But yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that Sonic Strike.
Wait, you said 9?
9 points of so it'll be 8 points of fire, 1 point of force.
Okay. This thing gets stunned as Jen runs up underneath this thing, and with just one swipe, using all of your help to deal a final blow to this thing as its head lops off and crumples to the ground. As they silently wipe off their blade as Carlisle walks back up to you. And this creature crumples onto the ground. As it starts to transform back, it loses all of its hair, it loses its snout, and it becomes this dead giant. And none of you have seen anything like this before, except Dram. Dram, you have seen these before. And wow, even seeing one right here, you never thought you'd see one outside, let alone, well, anywhere you happen to be. They live deep in the Fey Dark and usually aren't prone to coming out very often. They are known to be incredibly evil and will do whatever they need to for food or for fun, really. As it lays on the floor.
I'll say that was an impressive final blow, Jen, and touch their shoulder, casting Cure Wounds as I do so to heal them for potentially 3d plus 5.
Hey, I mean, I would.
21.
That's cool, man. I'm glad you did that. I was gonna kill it next. We softened it up for you. Also, thank you very much for the little bit of the nice flowers. The nice flowers felt very good. But I was gonna get it.
I have faith in you, Baskine. Otherwise, I wouldn't have offered your services to them. But I'll linger my hand on Jen's shoulder for a second, then pat it over my hand.
As you pat Jen's arm, they also pat your hand and nod at you and lean down towards you, Bastion, and put their hand on your shoulder. And they silently close their eyes and nod. As they stand back up. As Carlisle walks over, all right, guys, thanks. Wow, that was fun. Good job. Wow, you guys are really good at this, actually.
Yeah, your arrow clipping was pretty good, too.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I did have to warm up a little bit. It got the jump, but we got it. Appreciate you guys. Hey, thanks.
Reverie is. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Jinx just says, "Hey, no problem," and then does really awkward finger guns at him.
And he responds with, "Yeah, no worries." Also, slow finger guns at you. You could think that it's probably not a thing that happens in Ninjandor very often. Maybe not Elastigir either, but.
Reverie is quietly putting away the pouch of ball bearings that he had taken out. And kind of glances at Dram. I think not friendly was a bit of an understatement. And then he looks to Jen and Carlisle. Are there a lot of those things roaming around?
Well, like this specific one, hopefully not that many. Although with the realms merging, these things have left their home realm, and much like us, they can leave as well. And they have been essentially trapped there for a while. So there are other creatures roaming around, but there's other ones of us hunting them out. So we're just here hunting the ones that came to Elastigir, but there's others from our herd that are out in the other realms. But yeah, this isn't great. But I appreciate your help, because this thing was going to deal. It had already destroyed a lot of that area on its way over here. But I'm glad I didn't make it to your home, your family, or whoever is down the end of this road. Thanks again. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, that is really cool. But before we go away and we all have our good feelings at another time, another place, I'm not very good with things like this. Can y'all think of anything like poetic and macabre shit that could be in here, like the cursed beast, or like eyes that see only rage? Something that it just sounds like nonsense like that. Maybe any ideas?
Well, if you want eyes, this thing does have two really good
Well,
ones.
I know, but that was really an example. Like, I can do that, but I do not know if that's the best one. I do not have a very good imagination.
Well,
I think
yeah.
Jinx just clears her throat and goes, "This was an angry boy. He didn't like squeaky toys. He's definitely on the naughty list, and he fell to Boskeen's fists."
I mean, I guess by definition that was technically a poem, but that was very much not the thing that I was. I'm just going to take some of its organs and it'll be fine.
Let me assist you, Baskeen. I would have moved to the body pipe while everyone was talking and kind of just slice it with my bark finger.
Hey, you know what? You know what you're doing. I will take your advice. Whatever you think is the most valuable that you don't need, go ahead and toss my way. It's fine. I trust you. Your judgment has been great today.
I only need this. I'll clip off a small piece of its flesh and tuck it into my bag.
all right, that's easy enough.
Enjoy the rest. Jen, where do you plan to go? You and Carlisle after this?
As you ask them, they look up towards the sky and look over towards Carlisle and look down the road. And Carlisle responds, well, I think we're going to be heading off towards, we're going to go down this direction. There are a few more of us down here. They are actively tracking this island. And there's, just like we're out here hunting these things, again, as I mentioned before, the other half of our herd is all about stars and the celestial bodies. And I think they're over here. Well, I know they're over here. We're going to find them. I think you're heading this direction also.
I feel
unless
that,
you're not. Yeah.
I mean, after this, now that your werewolf is slain, I imagine that there'll be much larger creatures to take trophy from where we'll be going. And perhaps these same creatures encroaching from the floating island that we're looking for onto your lands.
Oh, we're not in it for trophies. No, we're
I'll look at the
protecting.
trophy bag on their belt, the other werewolf bag.
We need to dispose of this. This isn't just like a keepsake. We're going to collect this one as well, and we're going to get rid of these things. But no, we're not in this to hunt big trophy game.
Wait, but if you're not hunting the big trophy game and you're also not going to eat it now, why are you going to eat it later? It's not going to be very good later. It's going to be, now is really the best time to eat it.
No, see, this just proved my point. They're werewolf racists. They're just doing this to get rid of them, Bosky. This is all wrong.
I mean, this guy kind of sucked. I'll be honest with you. This guy was fine. He doesn't seem like he would be fun to play pool with.
Reverie kind of quietly rolls his eyes in the background.
Jinx is still muttering about how her poem was just fine, thank you.
As the lot of you, anybody else have any last things they want to do?
I'll say either way, consider it. King Oberon has asked us to do something very important, and I'm sure that well-trained knights or hunters would also be appreciated in his stead, working for him.
As you bring up you're working for King Oberon, both of them exchange glances with each other. Oh, then we should definitely continue to travel together. And I think you're going to want to talk to the people we're going to go meet. Let's go.
I have one final thing.
Yeah, what's up?
And I as we start to move away, I think that Lychee will come down where he's just been kind of circling overhead. Will come down and
Pascal will go, you have been away for so long. I'm sure you have killed half of this forest by now. Don't worry, we have taken care of the easy thing for you. It is fine. You can go ahead, and this time you do not have to really pick around. You can just whatever you want, your lordship. It is fine. Just do not kill me in my sleep tonight. And then there's just a real quick, almost the sound of like a when a catfish pops up for air, or like there's a big piece of food on the surface and there's that quick little bubble and the sound of water filling the hole again. And so if anyone speaks Aquan, they'll understand it something to the effect of, thanks for staying away.
Okay. I did have one thing. Wasn't it mentioned earlier that Carlisle and Jen were mapping things out, like how the land had changed and everything?
So they themselves were not the ones mapping them out, but
Okay,
other
they
members of their
mentioned-
tribe that are theoretically, as far as they've told you, in the direction that you are heading at,
Okay.
kind of waiting for the island that should be theoretically floating by any day now. They should be down the road.
Okay. I will just put that away for later then.
All right, perfect.
I'm consoling Jinx about her poem because it was definitely a good poem.
Jinx is very appreciative.
Yes, it was a very good poem.
All right. And that's where we're going to go ahead and pick it up next time we come back next week.
Awesome. That was so much fun. We're going to go on a raid here very shortly. Before we do, though, I want to give everybody a chance to say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, and anything they'd like to share or plug. And we'll go reverse order from how we did the intros. So we'll start with Andy.
All right. Well, my favorite part, let's see. Honestly, I'm really into the teamwork that you are all having in these fights. You are coordinating your attacks incredibly well. And that was really good. Some people get mad when they can't play their thing, but you just knocked out real good. That was nice. Great fight. Excellent. As far as more about me, we stream frequently on my channel, Martinez Streams. I stream Wednesdays for sure every week, different variety things, different video games. We also do other things as well. This week, I believe we are starting the Animorph series on Thursday. So check that out. I'll post about that on Twitter. You can follow me there as well, Martinez Tweets. There is a bunch of other stuff that we got going on here. I do author teaching. I do office hours on Monday. We talk about science, or maybe that's the thing that we're going to be doing in the next couple of days, hopefully. Our schedule's changing around for 2022 a little bit. There is a Patreon out there. If you like what you see here and you want to support that D&D, the TTRPG, the world building, go find that as well. That is on Twitter. You can follow me again at Martinez Tweets. Just Raven, how about you?
Awesome. And feel free to throw that link into chat if you have it handy. Then next, Anna, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part has to be throwing the monk up in the air to dive bomb the werewolf. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of that moment, and I appreciate you inviting me to be a part of that moment. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and exactly the kind of usage I wanted to get out of that spell. So I'm happy to use it. But I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet. Queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. You can find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun if any of that sounds interesting. I stream all over the place. But as far as where you can find me soon, Sunday night you can find me on Guild of the Phoenix playing Cyberpunk Red. That is our bi-weekly campaign. I play a medtech overworked and desperately trying to keep a party with a death wish alive. So standard cyberpunk. And then next week, you can also find me on Weave the Tale playing Upriver, Downriver, and their One Shot Wednesday. And if podcasts are more your thing, you can find me on Response Team Omnicron, a Lancer actual play podcast following a PR team that ends up unexpectedly on the front lines in the No Room for a Wallflower adventure setting. New episode just dropped on Monday. And we're getting into some character backstories and heart-to-heart, and it's really great. It's a great time to jump in. You still have time to catch up completely before we get too far ahead, so give that a try as well. Yeah, best place to see where and when I stream is on Twitter, so give me a follow there.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to Par. What's your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I think my favorite part is actually at the beginning with the tavern. So many fun little bits going on there. It's hard to choose. I'd throw the whole lot in. You can find me next week for this same campaign, and you can find me on Twitter at Par Professional, and my personal Twitter's at Mr. Par4E. Other than that, I got nothing else going on.
All right. Next, M. Favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, I really also loved really helping Boscain do like the turbo people's elbow off the tree. I also really loved the tavern. The bartender was absolutely fantastic, and I loved the look at my sniping. Oops. That was a lot of fun. You can find me at Timber Doodles on Twitter. I do digital art. I'm also in another Black Feather Guild TTRPG. Welcome to Madison on Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We are a party stuck in the town of Madison, which is a very weird place, and I play a rocket scientist who seems to know a lot about what's going on. And I thought everybody was going to think I was crazy until they suddenly didn't. And we started to get to suddenly didn't a little faster than I thought. So you can find me, and Welcome to Madison is really fun on, like I said, Friday, Black Feather Guild's YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Time, and Timber Doodles on Twitter. And I'm looking forward to next Tuesday.
Awesome. Next, Goo Honey, favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part was probably trying to sneak away from the Tooth Fairy guards. I didn't expect any guards to bother us in the tavern, but I feel like we played that off pretty well, surprisingly. You can find me on Twitter at xthetransient. From there, you can also find my Instagram. I'm a right now freelance illustrator focusing on character design and not safe for work, but I do also do safe for work art. I'm taking commissions. They start at $10, but I can work with anyone on pricing if you can't afford something or if you need a varying larger piece. You can just DM me there or on Instagram. You can also find me here on Tuesday nights, and also I will be starting on Welcome to Madison this Friday. So you can find me over there with Em and a couple other folks. It'll be interesting. I'm brand new to that series, so but I'm a big horror fan, so I think it'll be a good time for sure. I'm playing a baseball bat obsessed pizza cook, so we'll see how it goes.
Love that. And Zan, favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, well, I'm Zan, and man, that favorite part today is tricky. I think I mentioned it in chat, but I've been playing D&D for a long time, and I think that was my favorite unarmed strike that I have ever made. So that was just wonderful. Like I always try not to make the my highlight of the night be anything that I was involved with, but man, that was just really cool. I'm gonna be riding that high for a little bit. I mean, aside from that, though, I absolutely adored the silent NPC. I feel like a silent NPC, especially paired up with a talkative NPC, it's a really good group dynamic. Oh yeah, the squeaky toys are fantastic. Right, exactly. Yeah, those squeaky toys are fire. Yeah, I just thought it was some good NPC dynamics, and it is, despite us being merciful with the red caps who were just eating, I like that there was a little bit less ambiguity to this, and we could just, wreck it for the sake of wrecking it.
Except from the druid. I still cared that werewolf.
I mean, look, at that point, it was a job. It wasn't for fun. It would have been like, okay, payment was accepted. I gotta talk to somebody about collecting the debt later, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, no. As for me though, I'm like I said, I'm Zan, or I'm Insanity TTRPG, depending on the places that you find me. I do real cool games, with real cool folks, and real cool places, and I do a lot of work with integrating TTRPGs and mental health. So I'm working on a couple of things with that at the moment that aren't quite able to be talked about yet. But what I can talk about is that you should check out the Faustian Nonsense Network for their wonderful podcast, and I will be appearing as a recurring supporting character on their first season of Super Suits, where lawyers try to settle legal arguments and debates in a world full of superheroes. It goes about as well as you might think. And nope, there was. Oh yeah, also next Sunday at probably like 8 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me over on Attacktrix channel, where we will be finishing up our trilogy of Bob's Burgers holiday episodes. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Christmas was almost a month ago, and that's fine. It's a frame of mind, so we're still gonna do the Christmas holiday special for Bob's Burgers this Sunday, and you'll be able to catch us eating some pretty powerful edibles and then talking about Bob's Burgers until it stops making sense. So it's a real Christmas miracle. So that's always a great time.
Fantastic. That just leaves me. It's so hard to pick a favorite part. Yeah, the Ruli Baskin combo was fantastic. I also loved Reverie's, like, well, I missed with the first one, but I'm gonna keep throwing these until it hits, and the fact that you got it on there and that extra damage was really cool. I liked Dram's assist in the fight. That was really cool. And then everything Amira does is cool and creepy in a cool way. It's just all of those with the like, here, I got this for you, just gut this thing for you. I really like the character. She's really cool.
Thank you.
And then yeah, everything in the bar was fun because I got to cause chaos, and it's always fun. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, with the darkness thing, if the fight hadn't ended there, my next turn I was actually gonna use prestidigitation to like make some horrible odor like right in front of his nose too. So just like, let me just take out that smell. So it's a smell for you too. So just this campaign's a lot of fun because there's lots of unorthodox things like that we all do, and I'm really enjoying that. I love our outside of the box thinking in this group. Where you can find me next, let's see, today is Tuesday, so I will be GMing Avatar Before the Ice Melted on Friday. We've got YouTube Fridays, so that'll be over on our YouTube channel at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. And then I'll be producing Welcome to Madison at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on the YouTube channel as well. And then Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time back here on Twitch, we'll have the next episode of Animus Absentus, and that'll be the schedule for this week. Other things to share or plug is just our sponsors, as well as one of the supplements that we're using for this campaign, which is the Children and Champions of the Fae. It's where some of our ancestries and some class powers and things have come from. It's a pretty cool book. I've really enjoyed it. It's worth checking out. There's a link to it there in chat. And then our sponsors are Fundamental RPG. It looks like this. You can pick up your copy on Amazon. It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play any style of game, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between, which we've pretty much done on this channel over the last several seasons. It's a very versatile system. Highly recommend it. You can pick up physical copies on Amazon, or if you prefer PDFs, you can grab that at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the top left-hand corner and the bottom of the screen. Also go check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. And if you use the code FUNRPG in all caps, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And I highly recommend the fairy set, especially for this season. They are really pretty. The green screen is picking up a little bit of that green, but they're very sparkly with a sort of a pastel rainbow on the inside and a green tint overall. They're very satisfying to roll. There's a link straight to those in chat. And then if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so over at our YouTube channel. Just search for Black Feather Guild, or at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. And I think that is it for me. So we're going to go on a raid. We're going to go raid Madam Gandalf, who's a really cool streamer. Definitely give her a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will see you all on Friday. Bye, everybody.